Bing, bong, boom. Let's jump in. So tonight is session 12 of The Damned. I'm your Game Master, Daniel Fox. You're zooming in on me. This is the gang that called the people who made Zweihander amazing. A few changes in our roster. Sarah will be stepping away to do her lawyering duties. This happened last time in the previous campaign. It's just got to be done. So sad to see her go, but she'll be back eventually. In her place, Will Trimp will be joining us, which, for those who have watched previous sessions, he played Stahl on one of the games. He played with the NPCs, but he'll be creating a new character. I'm meeting with him on Sunday to talk about that. So that's the permanent roster changes. For tonight, Tim and Adam are out for personal reasons, but we're going to continue playing regardless. So for us, it's been about a month since we played because we had to skip some sessions. People were sick, and that we didn't have enough numbers to play. But we always play with 3 or more players and 1 game master, so there's 4 of us tonight. Can we talk about last session, session 11? It's kind of a big one.
We're on the road again, man. That was we figured out some issues.
So we opened with, you know, the scene at the top of this bell tower where everyone is having this conversation with Big Hat about
Hat guy, as Tim called him, as Clovis called him, Hat guy.
I'm the Hat Man. So we're having this conversation about, like, are you really going to help us with, like, where do you stand, where you lie, and all this kind of stuff, and eventually, like, how did it go?
I went like this.
But what happened before that?
Adam decided to throw himself out a window.
Right, Pipistrella.
As we had quickly made some realizations as she had thrown the salt across the floor.
Right.
None of us could really pass through without a whole lot of pain.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Sperianzi was the first.
We came to the realization that we weren't of the living, so that was totally against Sperianzi's Pipistrella, sorry.
Yeah.
Get the names confused. They're a whole religious faith. So right. She.
Who'd you discover that the Lantern Bearer was?
He was the
Count.
Yes, from Darius. There we go.
Gary Morgrove.
Yep, Darius Morgrove. He was the former owner of the Bastion.
The estate.
And then old Big Hat gave us the big news of, like, hey, not quite alive, not quite dead, just somewhere in the middle. And it seems that the Minister of Light has, in some way, has the God of Death, the custodian, in thrall in some manner. Is like the best we could suss out from that.
Yeah.
And then we got information about kind of these other lieutenants, so to speak, of the Lightbearer. Yeah. One in particular, in the woods somewhere.
Right.
And then we're like, this can't be.
So Pipistrella, Espillicent then brings the bell tower down.
Oh yeah.
And you were all
killing everyone in the whole tower.
Absolutely everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone dies.
Total party kill.
Well done, died.
It's a TPK. And from the TPK, you all actually had, awoken somewhere else.
Yeah. We were...
The basement of the starting area there.
Right.
The church.
The starting area. Starting area.
Technically, I wasn't there.
The respawn. So you return back to life in this.
To life.
Yeah, to life. Take that for what you will. In the cathedral grounds, in the basement, where there are 6 burial chambers, 6 urns resting upon stone biers, and at the foot of the stairs that lead upward, where you had first started the entire game, is your man, Simon Small. He's there with the bookbinder Beatrix, and he proceeds to explain, that he couldn't have told you this. You just wouldn't believe it. How could you possibly believe it? They knew that when the bell tower had fallen in the unnamed city, that was the moment you had made the passage. And then he and Beatrix brought the entirety of Bastion back to the cathedral. So a bit of a paradox. And he talks a bit about the passage. He talks about what has happened before, and that with every passing, things begin to change. He explains that he himself has become more infirm through his passage. He says that the brass paladin was not who he once was. That when he underwent the passage, he actually visited the Minister of Light, and he saw the truth, and that's when the brass paladin turned against Bastion. That's at the point where Clovis inquired, well, how many times have we passed? He says, twice, once. And then I think, if I'm not mistaken, Thomas, you'd asked why, something around the city, like why hadn't they passed into the city before? And the discovery was they were unable to do so. There was something about the lot of you, something about the 6 of you that was unusual, in already unusual circumstances. And that's why they're able to pass into the city. And that's when Simon the Small tells you about the Minister of Light and his lieutenants. And he says that beside the brass paladin, he knows of one other, and that is who they simply call the Witch of the Woods.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
That's right. Happy Halloween. So we actually pick up in the cathedral grounds. We begin our story once again as you emerge into the ruins of the cathedral. And you can see the whole of Bastion kind of arranged on this small island surrounded by the river. There are the faces and names that you recognize, and the wagon train is kind of like encircling the edge of the river. Simon the Small, infirmed as he is walked back to his wagon by Beatrix, the woman with the blue robes and the missing arm. And she joins alongside Lord Tomas. She has been Simon the Small's right-hand person and is now Lord Tomas.
That's right.
Really, with only a mere moments have passed for you since you've been here, but Simon the Small said it's been a week.
That's right.
Okay. Well, what of this witch? Should we?
What sort of preparations should we make? Is there anything what information can you give us to help prepare us for this encounter?
It will be a bit of a journey. I did procure some of the tomes, Lord Tomas, from the domain, from the house. I brought them with us. It's a precaution. You may recall, of course, Guillaume, we had spent some time in researching.
Indeed. And I was not much help. I remember that.
She smiles. This will change in time, I think. No less, I have brought a portion of the library with us. Unless we wish to return to the unnamed city. However, I think it may be the opposite direction from where we're going to go. You feel, as you're outside in the midst of the cathedral, it is still the season of ash. It is still bitter and cold, but you feel a strangeness in the air, a stillness to the atmosphere. To the east, you can see some vast, great black shadow ringed with teeth. The very edge of Gallion, a place that bars you from the rest of the country. A place that has become to be known as the Teeth. At least here. The Red Death had never escaped Gallion when it happened 2 years ago. You're resting beneath the shadows of the mall itself.
Yeah.
I'm having this thought, perhaps philosophical in nature, but I don't want to completely take out the idea of going back to the city. It's something to at least consider. Considering we no longer have to worry about the sense of urgency that comes with being mortal. So, if returning to the city has any sort of merit, and we can take the time to do so, there's nothing particularly pressing pushing us towards this witch immediately. So, if there's any merit to going to the city, if it will help us in any way, I'm not opposed to it. I just don't see any benefit. If anyone has any reason, this is Toma addressing Bastion in general. If anyone has any reason to go back into the city, and we weigh the risk and find it worthwhile, I would not be opposed to it. So if anyone has anything to say about it, please speak up.
The only thing I could think of is going back to prepare with, I assume, more weapons, maybe a little more research into it, but I don't know how much that would help, if that would even help. I mean, we have what we have, and it's not like we can't, with what she brought for research and what we have for weapons. I could go either way as well.
A woman who you know is Gretel Fletcher, a woman with a deep undercut that's grown out, with a long reddish hair and striking silver eyes. She stands beside Clovis, and she was the one who actually reconnoitered the city originally. She walks up. When the bell tower fell, she says, that is when the throngs of the damned crawled from beneath the city. Hundreds, thousands.
Things have gotten worse.
With the passing of this hat guy, she nudges Clovis. Clovis smirks. The damned crawled forth from every nook and cranny in the city.
Okay, so maybe we don't go back.
Say we don't go home
Let
there.
her finish her thought.
Okay.
We could try to pass into the city, but it would be dangerous. I think that there is merit, Espilison. Perhaps there is more to be found there without the pressing need, I suppose, for mortal time, she says.
Time is something that's different now, as is danger. Danger is merely an inconvenience these days, it feels. But if we have no pressing reasons to return, I say we press onward.
Master Thomas, Beatrix says. Indeed, death may be an inconvenience, but we have seen and cataloged what has happened to Simon. He has passed 9 times from betwixt here and the well, and every return he has made, he has come back changed. Even now, you can feel her eyes looking at the strange striations on your face. Even now, you have returned different.
Different in body, different in mind, perhaps, too.
She
I need to be convinced of these things. I need to be reminded. Thank you.
She points to her missing arm. I, too, have made the passage. Once. No less. These words that were shared, that Simon spoke of the Lightbringer, or Light Guy. She smiles and nudges. Light Guy. I suppose I question time. I mean, it is an unusual question, I suppose, to think about. If time is not a consideration, if the passing is an inconvenience, I suppose, what reason would we have to rush away to find the witch?
Indeed.
I just need to know why, and I'd be more than happy to go back. Just gotta have a reason.
I agree.
My concern is somewhere out there in Galleon, there's someone actually living. There's someone suffering. And our dalliances could increase that suffering. I suppose, in a way, we must cling to our humanity to prevent such things. We shouldn't forget who we actually are.
until we make it
Ain't
another.
that damn right, Stahl says, stomping his foot on the ground.
And if it kills me, I'll bring humanity back to this land. Real living.
I have some thoughts to share on this, or theories, I think, too. This is Beatrice, of course. When we were made the passage, Simon always knew where to find us. As time marched on, and she looks toward the wagons, the chambers in which we had been interred now are within each of these wagons. Should the passage happen again, we will awaken amongst a bastion.
Gotcha.
I know that there are 6 urns in the crypt. Your very human remains are within. I would imagine.
My remains? As I look at my hands. What is this?
I don't know how to answer that. she seems like uncertain of how to answer as such.
I suppose at the risk of my sanity, I must see this.
It does strike me that if we manage to do all of this, and by some miracle we are able to return everything to the natural order, by the act of us going through the passage itself means that this is a one-way ticket regardless. That just would only seem right, especially.
What do you mean?
No offense to Pipistrella, for instance, as she was, trying to immolate herself, for instance, by trying to return her soul to the well and all of that. Again, trying to go back to the natural order. If we restore the custodian to his power, to whatever place that he needs to have, and we have all died, I imagine that's probably where we're going to be once that happens. So even if all of this works out beautifully, I'm just saying that you are right. We have time now, and we have a little bit of leeway. But
We have time, and I just feel that if we were to solve all this, if we were to restore the natural order, I guess Pipistrella was right in a way that we're not natural. And I can't tell anyone what to do, but once this order has been resolved, I don't see a place for myself in this world anymore. Maybe my mind will change, perhaps with another passing. I hate to think about it that way, but as of now, let's just stick to the matter at hand and see to this witch and just put one boot in front of the other, one step at a time. Let's not jump to the end of this journey quite.
you find that Beatrix's soft, pale hand can rest on your shoulder. We have all struggled with the paradox. It is what Simon used to call conversations for fireside. when we were within in the middle of our journey, when we would ponder such things. You probably don't remember. When you had first come to us, you were listless, in a sense. You had no true sense of identity. It took some time for Simon to pattern you all, to remind you of who you were. Even now, my memories can only stretch as far back as a few fading strands. The memory of a child, a little house on the prairie. But to your point, Lord Toma, the matter at hand. She folds out this goatskin map. And it seems to be the rough shape of Galleon with a few points of interest upon it. Primarily, you can see that this particular spot on the map that meets what looks like a set of ragged teeth on the eastern side of the map, it's simply marked as, my apologies, it's marked as the cathedral grounds. Further to the north and the west, you can see a place that's called the Unnamed City. And then there's a place marked Shepherd's Pass to the west. Beyond Shepherd's Pass is a pair of twin villages that rest on either side of a pond called Sodom and Poil. And far, far, far to the west from there is a place that is simply known as Ghent by the sea. The namesake of which the people from Galleon take.
Gotcha.
All else is empty on the map. I think if we should strike out, if we are to go back to the unnamed city, our travel will be quick and expeditious. We know the route well enough. The mist seems to part for us. To find this witch, this lieutenant, she says, we will have to go to Shepherd's Pass and then have to find a road to Sodom and Poil from there.
Do you know if the pass can handle these wagons?
I am not wholly certain of that. I don't remember this place.
Again, a problem for later.
Know this much. We will have to go to the Shepherd's Pass if we wish to go to Sodom and Poil. Sodom and Poil is the beachhead, I suppose you could say, of where we will be able to find the Witch of the Woods, whoever she may dwell near within. Simon didn't have all the details either, but his facilities are the wane with the season.
9 time passed, yeah.
Well, I say we just get up and do what we're gonna do, Stahl says.
You won't get any argument from me.
You see Espillicent's eyes kind of shimmer. She's ready. She perks up when Stahl said that.
Anyone have anything to say in a disagreement? Let me know, and I'll hear you out. But
Harlan the Ox.
that's the best suggestion I've heard thus far.
Harlan the Oxmaster says little, what words he can muster, given that he has lost part of his throat in some terrible accident or perhaps through the passing. Puck Huck, the small, wretched little man with the Robin's egg blue cloak, is listening eagerly, leaning on a broom. Alma the apothecary, the dark-skinned sea auburn woman who does not wear a mask, is listening with intent as she is continuing to kind of pulverize some herbs inside of a mortar and pestle. A large black bird nestles in a nearby tree just above Pipistrella, where she's kind of nervously scratching at her wimple. To her side, or I should say, to her side, but several footsteps away, is Suspirianzi, the woman in the faded ball gown, which is turned gray and her arms are kind of folded over. Her face is hollow, the color lost with the passage.
I reckon that that gown may get a little muddy on the way.
It has served me so well, I guess well so far.
Pretty
Sorry, I couldn't help but jest at your expense, but I feel like we all need a bit of levity. But with that said, let's break camp and make for the Shepherd's Pass.
Do you want to take a look at your urn? Or are you gonna let that insanity sit for another day?
Let's let it stew.
Fair enough.
No pun intended for the urn.
I start going over near Stahl and start making sure everything is ready and checking on the wagons. And
Harlan the Oxmaster and Stahl typically keep to the animals into the camp, and they're kind of harnessing the animals up and preparing them. These black-furred, sweaty beasts, dead eyes, and sawn off horns. No telling how many times these are the things that made the passage. You turn backwards toward the cathedral, and you know that the burial chamber is there, and the urn's left in your wake, unless you wish to visit the chamber before you leave.
Seems like they're safe enough here. I'm not aware of anyone that's aware of their presence other than us, so it seems like if we were to take him with us, it would be taking on more risk.
That's the way you see it, boss. I mean, what's the worst that's gonna happen? We end up dead?
It's your body. You make the choice. I'm not gonna. If you want to bring it with you, by all means.
You know what? Yeah, I'll bring mine. or as close as if I can actually figure out which one is mine.
Yeah, you
Or
just,
do I? Yeah.
Yeah, you descend down into the crypt, and the crypt is always burning with tiny little candles arranged across stone. Some of the loose stone that sticks out. These alcoves that were meant to hold lanterns, perhaps at one point. Hundreds upon hundreds of candles have burned here and continue to burn here. These small, flickering, pale lights with a number of beeswax red and white candles. Within there is a place that is clearly meant to a place of solemnity. No religious iconography carved into the stone, but at the foot of within this chamber, almost this octagonal chamber, there are there are 6 urns placed. 2 of them are missing on the other sides of the chamber, but 6 remain.
Okay.
They're these tall, kind of bronze urns about the height of your stretch of your elbow to your fingertip, bulbous and large, completely sealed off. There are no epitaphs to speak of.
Okay.
That would denote whose is whose.
And the make itself is not like anything fancy or fine in any particular way. There's nothing unique about each urn. They all seem fairly uniform.
They appear to be all uniform, yes.
Okay.
But you know the one which you had awoken in front of.
Yeah. Yeah, that is. Yeah, I'm gonna take that one with me if that's okay.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and just put burial urn somewhere in your trappings. It'll be kept in the wagon.
Copy that.
I'm a minimalist. I don't need to take myself with me.
There's clearly something inside of it. You don't. I mean.
Okay. Yeah.
There's something inside of it, but you're not sure what.
Can I give that guy a little shake?
Yeah. It kind of rattles.
Interesting. And you said it's sealed.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
What's in the box?
Yeah, right. I'm not gonna ask that
John don't
question
have
yet.
the upper hand.
Yeah, I'm definitely not gonna ask that question.
What's in the urn?
What's the urn? Why is it rattling? Okay. No, I'm gonna take my burial urn, head back out to the wagon train, and actually try and find Beatrix. Saddle up next to her and kind of get prepared for a longer ride, and maybe try and borrow some books.
I would not say no for the company if you would ride on the coach.
Happy to, boss, it works out for you. I'll be happy to be there.
We have some days ahead of us, Lord Tama. I would leave it to you to decide who should lead us.
I see.
We'll begin a wilderness travel.
I am very proficient in wilderness travel.
Okay.
I also have azimuth,
Nice.
so
Yeah. So first you will need to determine who the guide will be.
And the guide is which?
The guide, they're the trailblazers, so you need folklore or navigation.
Folklore.
I am a
or
trailblazer.
Navigation.
I have folklore.
I can.
And-
I'll leave that to someone else other than me.
I'll guide.
Okay.
All yours.
Okay, Spilson. Okay, and then we need our survivalist. This is basically maintain the watch, heal, or survival.
That'd be Clovis.
Tap out on
I can. I'll take it.
Okay. Player characters who are not present cannot participate in skill tests.
Oh, got
Yeah, we always fade them to the background.
Gotcha.
And remember, you can take multiple rolls. It just makes it a little more difficult.
Oh, I see. Okay.
You could technically 1% be all rolls if they wanted to. Otherwise, long-term travel will be impossible mechanically for anybody.
Right.
But you can only assist one person. Then we need a scout, so that's awareness or stealth.
I have neither.
I'll do scout. I'll do scout.
All right. Any last preparations you wish to do? You are well provisioned.
You're well provisioned, but we were not able to find any. Yeah, looking around the cathedral, this is going to be an absolute shot in the dark. Any sort of like actual useful blade, like sword, like weapon that would not be like ceremonial or destroyed or whatever else.
It appears that whatever once was within this cathedral, that this place had been burned to the ground, destroyed. It was likely a Covenant priesthood temple. You imagine the Mercadian Knights and Covenant had perhaps at one point had a great conflict here. There are all manner of... I mean, the walls are destroyed. There's clearly like remains of a battle that happened here. Most of it's been picked clean by bone pickers. However, if you would like to spend a fortune point to end the situation, you may do so.
I mean, I've already given you another, misfortune point.
what
So
you
might
wanna
as
do?
well. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna.
So what happens?
So heading back down where I was in kind of the cathedral underside there, as I am like rattling around my rattly urn.
Rattler.
As I am not particularly adept at being dexterous, I actually fall or trip over some of the rubble, and I will say tucked behind where the urn was kind of standing within the actual like stone wall. I do actually see a glint of steel, and what would be I'm not going to look it up exactly, but a blade that I could use as a pledge guard, which would be the martial melee style.
Oh, nice. Mortuary sword?
Yeah,
That makes the most sense.
it does. Yes, mortuary sword.
Yeah.
I will spin my fortune point for that, so now I get to do pledge guard things.
Yes.
Yes, you do. That's right. Everybody got to move to a new profession.
That's right.
Last session. What you moved to pledge guard? Nick, remind me, what did Lord Tamal move to?
Armiger,
And a spellicet?
wearing his brass munitions.
Man
belt.
at arms.
That's right. Wow. Yeah. We went heavy on the heavies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, with all that being said and done, is there any final preparations you want to make before you leave?
I checked all. I double checked with the main guys, and everything's good in the caravans.
Okay.
And it looks like everything's tucked and ready.
All right. Then we will begin our official departure.
Oh, boys, here we go.
A few days into your journey from the cathedral grounds, the air begins to grow warmer. The season of ember is upon you. A pale yellow sun hangs in the sky where the blue atmosphere is pierced by blood-red meteors. The martyrs' tears burn like stars overhead, having fallen over the world in the wake of St. Carmen's crucifixion. Their tails hang in the sky beyond the clouds, revealing the rings that surround your fair world. We need first for our guide to make their roll check. The path to Shepherd's Pass is unknown. It is going to be hard.
Okay, I've got.
So you can make a hard folklore or navigation. It's up to you.
Do I see stars?
Yes, you do.
I got plus 20 base chance to navigation tests.
Nice. Okay.
Nice.
And so I'm.
Mhm.
Wait. Say
It's a hard navigation.
hard
test.
navigation.
Yeah.
So 59. Wait. Sorry. I gotta get back into the swing of things. So I've got 39, it's hard, 20, back, so it's 39.
Nice.
5.
That's success.
Success.
Okay, cool.
Success.
All right, good. Well, the good thing is that with Espillicent as the guide, it's going to make your checks less difficult. All tests will move from hard to challenging now.
All right.
Way to go.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Yes.
So along the way, it is not a long way away, but it is a short stretch. So I need everyone to make a challenging toughness or survival test as you withstand the rigors of the road.
Oh, shit. All right. And you said this was challenging?
Yes.
Yes. Gotta beat 42.
Failure.
I got 5 again, success.
Nice. Well, those you failed.
Critical failure, 55.
Oh!
42, 55.
Wow. In your case, Thomas, you suffer 10 physical peril on the way. For Guillaume, 16 physical peril along the way.
Bad.
Yeah.
Bad. All right. That is. And that's physical imperil. Dang
Yeah, that's right.
Not mental. Dang it.
Well, Thomas, you are maintaining the camp as a survivalist. You need to make a challenging heal or survival.
Okay. Survival. Oh, it's gonna be 48% chance to succeed. I'll do a reroll.
Ooh, that's the last fortune point.
Yeah, we're almost done with this though. So that is a 43 success.
Nice. Well, the good thing is that from here, the travel you maintain, you won't eat more provisions than you had. You've got just enough. Right as you feel the season changing, you know it must have been maybe 5 to 6 days since leaving the cathedral grounds. We did our final test from Guillaume, our scout, as you were watching ahead.
Watch for danger.
Yes, indeed.
We need you to make a challenging awareness or stealth test.
Path ahead is grim and perilous.
But a bump.
Oh my god, he said it. Right, so this is going to be...
That's right. It's a meme of the undercover going.
Alright, so that's going to be 42.
Oh
Crit
god.
fail again?
I don't want to talk about it, but I have to.
Oh no.
That's a 66.
Oh no.
Gillame!
Well,
Galomi is not doing
Galomi!
It's not rolling well.
maybe it's
Oh,
just
boy.
that the path here is unknown, it's new. Maybe you're confronted with the
Yes,
paradox of what you learned.
You're already a little
Maybe you're
imperiled.
struggling with that inner turmoil.
You're already a little
Yeah,
stressed.
But
Yeah, boy.
you feel your mind being pulled many different ways, unfortunately, as and you don't obviously know this, but the things will get really bad if something terrible befalls a lot of you on the way there. Speaking of which, because you are our scout, and you crit failed,
Not believe I've done
I need
that
you to roll
before.
2d6 chaos dice.
Oh boy. Okay, here we go. 1, 5.
Damn.
There's only 3 of us, man. Come on.
Eventually, night falls as you reach what must be Shepherd's Pass. But stretching as far as the eye could see in the night, an endless field of monks, itinerant priests, and camp followers are frozen in time. These wretched folk have been turned to salt, affixed to the ground like statues, all migrating westward. Their features have been eroded by the winds and the turn of the season. But amid this eerie battlefield, you can hear this mandolin, and you see the light of a fire somewhere beyond the statues. The sound seems to kind of echo across the landscape of the Shepherd's Pass. You've arrived successfully. All your fortune points return to you.
I think those will come in handy later.
Well,
What do you say, boss? We approach? We don't approach? Keep on moving?
Heard tale, a fable in the Librum about folk who turned away from their faith and turned to pillars of salt. Remember your humanity, remember your faith. not become them. But as for this person here, let's see.
You begin to grow closer to where this troubadour sits, and she rests with her legs crossed with the long arm of mandolin as she's playing this tune slightly off key upon your approach. She has this broad hat that rests over her face and this scarf around her lower part of her mouth and her nose, but her eyes burn with they seem to flicker in the darkness like a dog's, capturing just the light. The wagons come to a slow crawl amid the statues of the folk who had been migrating westward. She looks up and does not stop her tune.
Toma waits for the song to finish, enjoying the moment.
Aspillicent is kind of ready to go see what's going on.
No, we're there.
I'm ready to get up and out
Oh.
and
Yeah.
So you
approach.
emerge from the
Yeah.
wagons.
No, I said I was going to the person.
Okay.
And like just waiting
Oh.
for her to finish.
Gotcha.
playing. Yeah.
I thought you were just chilling.
No, I wasn't
Okay,
waiting. Yeah.
okay, gotcha.
I was
Yeah, so
approaching, but
I'm also
not
approaching.
interrupting.
Yes.
She pauses her tune and looks up.
Good day to you. We appreciate the tune. It's things like this that reminds us that life's worth living.
I have been practicing this tune for as long as I can remember, but I can't quite get the strings right on it. I can't quite get the right note. She kind of plucks at the lute once again.
Sometimes it's not just about the notes, it's about the sentiment, the soul. It's appreciated nonetheless as I reach into my my purse and bring forth 2 baubles here in appreciation.
Aye. She extends these long, crooked fingers out that are wrapped in gloves. I appreciate it. I would invite you to my fire if you would join me.
Not enjoy that, yeah.
A many lot of you. I don't think I've had the pleasure. She stands up, her legs kind of unfolding as she's almost 7 feet tall.
Yeah, I want to feel it.
She leans on the mandolin that is built just for her height.
I extend my own hand. Thomas Laurent, at your service.
I was once called Poe.
Good day to you, Poe.
What of your friends?
Aspillicent sees just this rock and is just drawn to this small, rock pebble, and for whatever reason picks it up and goes over and hands it to her and gives it to her and just nods and walks away.
A pretty stone. Not as smooth as a river stone, but it has been quite some time since I've seen the tenebrum. What of ye? What name were you given upon your name day?
I'm Aspillicent.
Aye. It's a pleasure. I have not laid eyes upon the living in quite some time. She chuckles beneath the scarf.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. Guillaume Bivouac, by the way. Pleasure to meet you.
Well, welcome to my camp. You look about and there are no bedrolls. There is no food. There are no water skins. It's just her and this little divot she's made in the dust and her mandolin.
After our quick pleasantry, I kind of retreat back and I just take on my normal kind of still watching behind all of us, just kind of watching our backsides, kind of retreat a little bit.
If the sky is marked by the vault of night is marked by blue and the twinkling of the stars, and still you can see the bands that surround Fair Mahoma, the distant rings of the martyrs' tears that linger in the sky, still as the statues, the people that surround you. It's eerie being here, looking among the folk and the edges of the firelight, that as the light plays and the shadows across their features, almost as perhaps they were regaling or celebrating or speaking but there is no movement among them. But the throngs grow larger, or grow more immense the further you went east until you came here to this camp. Beyond that, to the west, you can see where the foothills of the Shepherd's Pass meet a low set of hills, stony, rocky outcroppings about half a mile out.
What brings you out to these hinterlands with only a horde of poor bastards for company? As I motion towards the pillars of salt.
I was brought here a few years ago, and I came with the baggage train. When all this happened, I just decided to stay put.
I'm sorry, I'm unfamiliar. What is the baggage train?
Oh, when the folk, she motions with one of her arms out into the field,
Awesome, yes.
had begun their pilgrimage, I had joined them from a place to the east, but its name I forget.
Okay, so are any of these people, like, possibly facing a specific direction, or the majority of them perhaps, like, looking west then from...
They appear to kind of all be in, if you would imagine to take a snapshot of people, of an immense crowd of folk moving kind of staggered throughout the grasslands, like they're literally frozen in the midst of whatever action or thing whatever they were doing at the time that they had been turned to salt.
Yeah.
Not in a fright, but some are turning toward one another to speak. Another is exchanging a skin of wine.
It's just instant flash.
A small child holding on to the edges of his mother's dress. A few monks who were kind of holding a very large pack on their shoulders with sticks to walk.
You were here when this happened?
Aye, she says.
What occurred exactly? You must forgive me, I'm a bit of a curious mind. If
No.
it's difficult to speak of, I understand.
She welcomes you before the fire.
Sit immediately.
I don't know how much you recall about the Red Death, or what had happened to the saint. Were ye of the faith?
Hard to say. I don't think so.
Deferential, but not that I could recall.
There are 3 folk, the accursed, those who had drove the nails through the saint's limbs and affixed her before the city of Ghent. The flock, she says, there seems to be, and when she says flock, she almost like he's capitalizing flock with her words. It punctuates the air. The flock was at first small in number, and as we pursued one of these 3 folk, a Mercadian official named Tiberius, the numbers had grown. By the time we arrived at Shepherd's Pass, our numbers were 10 score or more. We were led by priests of the Covenant, who had sought to exact revenge upon Tiberius. The flock had gathered before the mountain, and she kind of motions toward the darkness where she says, he had taken solace beyond the stone. His knights, Mercadian knights, watched over the cave, but as the flock began to approach the mountain, one of the martyrs' tears tore through the sky, ripping a hole through reality, fell from the atmosphere, and then there was light. And when I awoke out of my blindness, I had seen the people I had traveled with turned as they are about these poor wretched shepherds who have set aside their crooks and taken up the hook to bring Tiberius to the flux justice, cursed, turned to salt.
How is it that you were not turned to salt?
I don't know. I don't know why I was chosen, why the curse had avoided me, but I simply awoke by my fire once again. I suppose that's when I took up the mandolin. It wasn't mine, but it just felt right.
Perhaps you were spared to tell the tale of this grisly miracle, if that's the right word for it. Word of caution. That there is something different about you, isn't there? I don't mean to be forward, but your mask.
With the coming of the season of ash and the passage of these 2 long years, water and food tasted of dust on my lips, on my tongue. I soon found I had no need of hunger or hydration. I was changed, yes, and afeared. Tiberius must be a mighty wizard to bring one of the martyr's tears down to turn these people to whatever has happened to them.
As far as you're aware, Tiberius is still here in this area, in the stone or the mountain.
It has been 2 long years, and as I had searched among the flock, I dare not approach the mount.
Fair enough.
I do not know what had befallen Tiberius or the Mercadian Knights, but I don't imagine it was a fate unlike that which these poor wretched souls had suffered.
Indeed.
And if truly he still lives, then well, he is the key to undoing all of this.
I believe you were saying something about not losing our humanity.
Indeed.
One long look in this woman's eyes speaks of this haunting otherness. Like you can see the fear in her eyes, even though she's begun to turn to one of the damned. She looks afraid.
Look at us. Look at us. We're not natural. We're like you. Clinging to the last vestiges of what we have of our humanity. We will help you. Out of kindness, out of need to cling to what we have, doesn't matter.
Little curiosity for me, but yes.
Perhaps for myself as well, but in either case, there's not so many kind shoulders to lean on these days. I want to be one.
You have my protection.
So afraid I thought my humanity and others. I thought I would have to beseech ye in this grim task, but your charity, it warms my heart.
This might sound, it is really pertaining to nothing, but where did you get such a fantastic hat?
Oh, this whole thing. I had worn it for when the season of Ember had come. It was terribly hot beneath the sun. And honestly, I was afraid that the martyr's tears would fall on my head. Silly as I was as a child.
This occurred 2 years ago. Yes.
Aye. There's been the passage of 2 seasons of ash.
You were a child then.
A child, I suppose, in the sense metaphorically.
Does this hat, and I know it's probably like low light and it's just like a fire, but does this at all look like anything like the gentleman that we saw in the Watchtower?
This is the only other living person you've really met, save for Brother Walder.
Yeah, just that
And-
hat. I'm just curious.
I mean, the hat is not the same.
Okay,
no.
all right.
It's just a nice sun hat.
Big yellow sun hat.
Yeah,
Cool.
but it seems to, she is her mortal form is certainly more desiccated than yours, but not in the sense that it's rotting.
Yeah.
Looks like someone who has not eaten or drank, and
She's rough. She's rough.
yeah.
In this particular context, yeah.
I'm gonna go. I know that she spoke of food and liquid tasting of dust, but I'm gonna go check the caravan to see if we have anything left
Absolutely.
and offer it to her.
Yeah, you still feel the hunger within all your bellies.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go and see if we got some food and ask if she would like some of our rations.
Oh, please keep your provisions. I wouldn't know what ought to do with them besides waste them.
Okay.
You can use my fire if you need to heat up your stone. You use stones to heat your meat, or to warm your bowls for soup. I remember its taste, the taste of pepper, the taste of squash, freshly poked strawberries. Oh, but I would not give. She sits down, resting. She sets the mandolin aside.
Will join us in our meal, not out of need for nourishment, but just for company and
Custom.
custom and nostalgia.
We could tell some stories, some positive ones, and get our spirits back up.
If you wouldn't mind terribly, I could possibly look at that mandolin.
Well, certainly. My father always told me, he hands the mandolin to you. My father always told me that the spirit, the fire, was not only to warm the body, but also to warm the soul. That kinship and custom was important when one set up to fire with strangers. I have told you my story. Perhaps you would tell me one of your own.
Well, I could tell you of a time when I was a wanderer. I tended to wander the hills and with my group of people and always navigate by the stars. I enjoyed hiding out in the trees. And I remember there was this one time we were trudging about in the middle of the night and we saw what we thought was a beast, a monster. And we kind of stop and get behind the trees, and we're all young and naive at this point, and it turns out it was just a wolf. But this wolf starts baying at the stars and at the moon, and it was one of the most peaceful nights, and I remember it just felt so cool and was so lovely, and nights like tonight make me think of that particular night. Just looking at the innocence of the existence and the peacefulness of what we had.
Although I cannot see your face, I can tell by your voice that you miss your home. Where was it?
I don't necessarily have a home. I've always traveled, and home is wherever I lay my head.
Your caravan looks like a home.
My caravan is a home. The floor is a home. The trees are a home. Wherever I am, that's my home.
I remember having a family at one time. I was 11 embers old, I think. 12 maybe. My father was a gardener, and I remember cool nights like you had spoken of. Ours were punctuated by ceaseless storms as we lived near the shoals to the west, in the shadows of a great city called Ghent. How far I have come since then. How strange my journey has been. Because I remember the crashing of the rocks, and I remember the sea foam, and I remember my father's strawberry pie. Those are the moments I miss.
Remember the first actually successful case of mine that I ran. I just remember, just getting hammer drunk. Just absolutely destroyed after I finally figured out what was going on. Trailed the man, took me 2 weeks. Eventually he made the drop. I was able to get that information to my contact. Got the money. First time I was able to pay for an apartment. First time I was able to pay for my own whiskey. I don't remember a whole lot previous to that case. But I do know wherever I was before was large and well appointed and miserable. I tell you, I'd take that tiny little apartment any old day over any big palace or anything else. That one felt good.
I suppose there's a kinship, and I suppose I can identify with finding one's independence. I spent most of my years with my father until he joined the flock. I thought myself independent enough. He had his liturgical duties. I had my own. I kept to the cleaning, the washing, the scrubbing, the caring for animals. But I felt, I suppose, with all that responsibility on my own, I felt alive. I felt like I was doing something important with my life, as opposed to simply following in the wake of my father everywhere.
To feel capable.
I was expected to follow a certain construct, and it wasn't for me, and that's why I've never made one place home.
Long ago. A lifetime ago, even. I was a bailiff. I thought I had purpose in life, collecting taxes, making everyone miserable, skimming a bit off the top as I looked towards Clovis. That was before the Red Death. Now? Now we have purpose. Now we have something to truly live for. Despite our condition, we're finally alive. We finally can live for someone else.
I would rather.
Yeah, really.
I would rather the beasts still just be wolves.
Be easier to kill, I would imagine.
To scare away with fire.
Never kill a wolf.
Okay, so I'm just gonna ask this: is there any possible way? I have education in folklore.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any possible way I can help tune this mandolin, or is it just like a warped neck or like a warped body, and there's really like nothing I can do?
Yeah, it looks like it's warped over time.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Fair enough.
As she kind of takes it and says, "Here, give this a listen." She kind of extends her long fingers. There's something about the song. I don't know, as I pull at these strings, I don't know, like it's unraveling some old memories of mine.
Do you remember where this song came from? Where you learned to play this song?
I don't, but I've taken care to write it down on the back of the mandolin. Scratch it in, I suppose you could say, with the stone. She stops for a moment and shows it to you, and then continues playing.
What does it say on the back?
But it's like a treble clef, like it's actually like the notes of the song she's trying to play.
That's baller. At least in a previous life, we know that you could read music. That's good to know.
My eyes tend to my eyes now shimmer with my mood changes, and I'm feeling really relaxed and calmed by this music and reminiscing about days wandering when there was less danger, and so my eyes kind of sparkle a little bit, kind of like wanting, and I just am relaxing.
The martyr's tears look akin to stars being so close to fair Mahalma, piercing the sky from left to right in a diagonal fashion. And beyond that, you can see the mirror. The mirror is full. The entirety of the land around you is illuminated from the great pale light that comes from it. And beyond that, the vast darkness of the vault of night. It is a peaceful evening. But the fire never seems to die down. But the next day comes.
Oh, the next day.
It's morning, and it's, as opposed to the chilly evening, it is a warm day in the season of Ember. When you awaken that evening, Poe is gone.
Oh,
The fire has been extinguished.
okay.
Her belongings, her satchel she had, is nowhere to be found. The place where she had been sitting, perhaps for so long, still kind of the impression of the dirt where she had rested. But the mandolin remains. It's like she
Guillaume?
was never here.
Guillaume, I believe this is yours now.
Yeah, we're gonna take this.
I go do a little runabout to see if I see anything, just kind of run around.
Yeah, you kind of stand and begin to move about Bastion and the collection of the salt statues. You can see the faces of those who had once come here with great purpose. The flock, as Poe had called it.
Is Poe now in that group?
You've not seen her now.
Okay.
I'll be honest, Aspillicin, I think we might have. Sounds odd, but go with me on this. Did we just happen to meet the Witch of the West? Similar build, similar type of talk, decent memory of the past. It's about 7 feet tall.
She sure seemed nice.
She seemed very nice. Now the big hat guy didn't seem nice. He just seemed much more broken than our friend Poe did. But also kind of begs the question of Tiberius. Was that all real in terms of that story, or?
I mean, that's the only explanation we have.
Wouldn't hurt to look into it.
Now we're talking.
Could just be a ghost.
These words carry great gravity, as you can see that the folk of Bastion can have listened intently to them.
Could just be a ghost. This land does weep. What does everyone else make of it? Do you know anything of this witch that would suggest it could be this specter?
Beatrix kind of ponders this as she rubs her chin with the tattoo on her chin right here. She kind of strokes her pale skin, her long raven black hair cascading over her shoulders. She ponders and studies. I have seen many strange things in Galleon, Master Thomas. I cannot say I've ever seen a specter. But this woman, this Poe, perhaps she was maybe she was a memory.
I don't got much of a mind for.
Almost like a collective memory of every person here that was in this flock before it happened? Or
These sorts of ghostly
Maybe.
things. But I feel like this is something worth risking ourselves over. This is a thread that needs to be pulled.
Tiberius is alive. I would not want him on our backside.
Gretel approaches and scratches the side of her head. This story bears fruit, she says plainly. If this Tiberius is in fact a wizard, or whatever, this is... She has a motion to the salt statues, but you feel she's talking to that around you. This is a dangerous prospect, Master Thomas. I fear the camp may be split on whether we approach or not.
Should we have a fireside chat?
As I said before, I think it's worth a thread worth pulling, but let's take it under advisement from the camp. See what you all think.
Yeah.
Harlan has said he will need a day to tend to the oxen. One has been hurt along the way. And some repairs made to the caravan.
It's been a long journey for sure. A few days rest would be in order, I would say. But it gives us time to reflect on these things.
Coming off that trip definitely requires some rest and some calming
Recentering.
down.
Yeah. And I mean, a lot of those revelations.
Some calming down for Guillaume.
Beatrix leans
The
in.
55s and 66.
We four may be of the same mind, but it is Bastion you must convince.
Right.
I think we can. Let's go talk.
She sits down beside the fire. You know that you have Beatrix's vote, no matter which way you go, Master Thomas.
Okay, I'll start going and talking to people.
One moment here.
Yep.
So, among Bastion, there are a number of folk. One moment here.
Can we take a pause?
Yep, let's take a quick pause. So, there are a number of people here in Bastion you'll have to convince. There is Alma, the apothecary.
I've got her.
There's Beatrix, the bookbinder, who will go whatever direction Thomas goes. Sybil, the arms master. Harlan, the ox master. Puck-Huck. Simon the Small will be abstaining. Stall, the kettlesmith. And then the three of you. Who do you want to approach first?
I'm gonna go to Puck-Huck.
My, oh my, he says, this little short, wretched-looking creature whose blue cape is always perfectly clean. It goes no further down to the small of his back, and it rests gently over his shoulders, despite the fact that the clothing he wears beneath is tattered and old. He has two mismatched eyes, a long pointy nose, strange ears, and a mouthful of too many teeth. I was just over here sweeping up around the front of the caravan, he says as he's on the fold-out stairs and kind of he's sweeping Simon the Small stairs free of leaves and other detritus. He wipes his brow, full of sweat and dirt, but his cape remains unblemished.
Christine.
He rests the broom down and, my, that was a rather strange thing last night with that woman.
Yeah, quite a ghost story, no?
Couldn't find hide nor hair of her all among the camp today. It's like a algal rose, and she is up and disappeared, like a dream or a memory.
Something about her, though.
Or a ghost! He wiggles his long fingers with broken fingernails, all different sizes and shapes. Too many knuckles that are covered in fur.
I tipped her with a couple baubles, and I did touch her hand, so there's something concrete and real about her. Something you can touch.
Well, we used to think that the damned were just desiccated things wandering around like zombies in the ghost stories. Now we know. He edges his elbow at your knee. We all know what we are. Woke up in a tree as I did. You fetched me right out. Brought me into your folk. Some ghost stories are real, I suppose.
What about this one? What do you make of it?
Well, I ain't gonna look a gift horse in the mouth. If there's someone up there on the hills that we can be talking to figure out more about this witch, well, I say we do it. I don't know what this whole Tiberius turning all these folk into pillars of salt, or no martyr's tear tearing through the sky. I think something else is afoot bigger than him.
But all this stuff with Tiberius could be a piece of the puzzle, no?
Maybe. I wouldn't know much about that bit out of my depth. I say we go for it.
Okay.
I'm for it.
Appreciate you saying that.
Y'all took me in and whatnot and saved my
Skin.
life, the right word to use? Saved my skin.
Existence?
That'll do.
The non-cantankerous little gnome kind of waddles his way away with the broom and continues to sweep at the stairs as you've convinced Puckhuck. There are many others among the camp. Beatrix will always go with your vote, Master Tomas.
I'll go speak to Alma.
Okay. She is in the morning light. She's outside and she's resting cross-legged over a boiling kettle near a fire pit that she has dug with a hand truncheon. Her dark ebony skin is the color of caramel in the sunlight. She has let her hair down and there's sweat building on her brow as she's been working, but she has several roots that she's plucked out around here, including some scallions that you imagine you'll find in your soup tonight. Well, 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 she says.
I kneel down and I bow.
Her nose is always turned up, Alma the apothecary.
She's out of her mask.
She is, yes. Her eyes are strange. When you look at your reflection in the water, at the still side of the pond, or in a bucket of rainwater, her face is not unlike yours. Eyes just a little bit too far apart. Nose just a little bit too pressed far in. Mouth just a little bit too wide. Strange ears. And the fingers, same as yours. Her 3 digits carefully working whatever she's doing with the herbs.
I take it you've heard of the talk around camp?
I have some ghost story with an itinerant who had passed through.
What are your thoughts?
I would say there are no such things as ghosts, but I suppose we have seen stranger things around here, Galileo. I didn't listen too much to her story. I do know that the sodding fool did leave behind a rather expensive musical instrument, though.
It's in good hands now.
Indeed.
How do you know it's expensive?
Well, look at it. A mandolin found this far from Ghent. She's either an aristocrat who has lost her home, or she is a thief.
There's other scenarios, I suppose. But what do you think of her story?
Dangerous, I say. Be she a ghost or not. Crawling toward a mount where a potential sorcerer may be holed up. Goodness no. Leave that to the Allornites. Leave that to Beatrix. Leave that to Simon the Small.
You will not join us?
I do not think so.
What if I promise you my protection?
My dear, you will protect me regardless because this is your nature.
And I bow very, very obviously, like, yes, that's true.
We all do our part for Bastion. Yours is to watch.
I feel if we separate, that'll be more dangerous.
My dear, there are plenty of folk here in Bastion to keep me safe. I do not think that all of them will necessarily agree that it is the best outcome for Bastion.
We're still discussing, but you would be an important piece to this whole excursion. as your wealth of knowledge and your abilities would serve the group well.
Only the hardiest of plants grow in the hills, and I am afraid in the Shepherd's Pass I have found nothing but these paltry onions. I am neither for nor against this. I am neutral.
Well, if we get the consensus of others, may we reconvene and have this as a discussion again?
Well, I shall have no choice if the others decide to go now, will I?
That's true.
I think I will tend to my herbs.
Okay. All right. I just leave her be.
Yeah, I'm gonna go talk to Stahl.
Well, Stahl the Kettlesmith is doing exactly what you think he's doing. He's hammering out some sword on a stone with a hammer, and he's a fiery-tempered, red-haired man. He looks every bit of a Denman as you would imagine. Well, good morning, y'all.
Morning. Stahl, I imagine you've heard about our particularly ephemeral guest of last night.
Well, I was out taking my evening constitutional when that person had wandered into the camp, or until we wandered into hers. But I didn't pay attention close enough.
Here's my dilemma. As far as I can tell, we are going to do something very dangerous. And we're off to someplace that is potentially very dangerous. So danger seems to be everywhere. We seem to be lacking knowledge, facts, an understanding of any sort of what we are walking through here. So what we are proposing is to follow up on her little campsite story. The idea of this mighty Macadian knight / wizard calling down modest tears and glassing absolutely the scores of people. I'd like to see what's all that's all about.
Well, I'm a God-fearing man, Guillaume. You know that.
Fair enough.
I'm not right to say the wrong words beneath the threshold of martyr if it meant condemnation to you know where, and we ain't gonna talk about. But this whole pillar of salt whatnot that Master Tamal talked about, well, that lines right up with what I read in the Libra when I was a little one. And that means they did something real bad. The sooner we get out of here, the better. And going up on the top of that mountain give us any sort of insight, I'm all about it.
This is what Stahl understands. Yep. Point A, point B, he understands. Wonderful. So we could say if we brought this all to a vote, you would be willing to say, yes, we should go explore this area and understand what we're looking at.
You got a big thinker on you. So, I'd do what you say.
That is very kind of you, Stahl. I sure as shit can't shape metal, so...
Well, all right then.
All right,
Wonderful.
then.
So we got a yes from Stahl?
Get a yes from Stahl, you get a yes from Puckup, you have a neutral
A
vote
neutral
for Palma.
Palma. Who's
What else we got here?
I might go talk to
There's Beatrix. Sorry, Beatrix will go whichever direction Tomas
yeah,
is.
not
There's Sybil. There's Harlan.
Harlan. I'm gonna go talk to Harlan.
Okay. Well, the Oxmaster is bandaging up one of the legs of the oxen that pulled the lead wagon at Bastion. Simon the smallest wagon, in fact. He is not wearing his hood this morning, so you could actually see this pretty vicious scar across the side of his face where he had this massive hoof print across his eye and the side of his face where he'd been kicked many moons ago. He's a younger fellow with yellow hair, and he always seems to speak in a whisper as if he's having difficulty kind of gathering the spit needed to speak loud. Miss Millicent. He kind of wipes his hands and brings his sleeves down a bit and cleans himself up and stands.
I crouch and I bow. And I say, I don't suppose you have any thoughts about what happened last night?
He pauses and he begins to pantomime, speaking to you clearly in still sign. And he begins to say that, in brief, that he does believe in spirits, and he thinks what we saw last night was something, but he's not sure if that means that it's if somebody's marching us toward our death, or if they're leading us towards some sort of insight.
And I, speaking in still sign, open up the discussion and ask if we were to pursue this mission, would you join us?
He pauses for a moment and he looks toward the cadre of 3 women that always accompany him, the bushwhackers as they're known as. They are always wearing their hoods and their scars as to not show, because they are, as you learn, they are one of the husks. They're silent. He says that they will do whatever is commanded of them, and that he would not leave anyone let anyone put themselves in harm's way without him there. He will lend his Kaiser blade to this.
Beautiful. I knew you'd understand, and we need you just as much as everyone else. And do we have your go?
He nods.
Okay.
That leaves Gretel and Sybil.
Right. Oh, crap. Yeah, I'll speak with Sybil. She's a war master, right?
Sybil?
Yeah.
He is the arms master.
He's the arms master.
He's an older man with a graying beard and a fatherly sort of voice with kind eyes. Well, that was before his passage. When he returned to the camp, he no longer required a cane to amble about. He looked less kind and more serious. His look more stern and severe, like he was looking through you. He rests cross-legged on a stone as he has a book out that he's kind of sketching one of the pillars of one of the salt statues. What can I help you with?
Master Sybil, we have found ourselves at a bit of a crossroads, and we are looking for input and thoughts from some of the senior leadership. So, simple as this. You may have been aware of our tall and peculiar guest last night.
I saw her.
She gave us told us a story of what has happened to what she called the flock here. Not a bad draw, by the way. Nicely done. We want to go explore that opportunity and that possibility. Gain some knowledge, potentially understand both what has happened here and, more importantly, what we might be facing moving farther west. What are your thoughts?
I have no part in ghost stories. We know what happens when we split our numbers. We know what happens when you put the Bastion in harm's way for no real purpose.
Well, the purpose in this particular case is to understand a potential power that turned scores of people into salt. And if we are to do what we are to do, we would need some sort of power, some sort of upper hand against this Minister of Light. And that's what we're seeking here.
To follow stories is like a dog chasing its tail. You follow fiction before a fact, and by doing so you give fiction power.
Can't determine the fiction from the fact until we see it for ourselves. I mean...
May so, but the fiction is scary enough to know that if it is true, then will we join the flock as well? Is that a risk you're willing to take for Bastion? I ask you that.
That is what I'm still wrestling with. Yes.
What do they say about curiosity and the cat?
Well, in this particular case, satisfaction didn't bring it back, so we do have that going for us. And in this particular case, even in death, we can come back. There is something to be said for that as well.
Maybe that's your optimistic way of looking at things. I have a very different mind to it.
I can respect that. Thank you, Master Sybil.
Sybil's a no.
Boy, howdy.
Thanks, asshole.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah.
That leaves only Gretel,
I'll
Master
speak.
Tama.
I'll speak with her.
They are on the fringes of the camp. They are crouched over a small running rivulet of water with a straight razor and a bit of lather as they are shaving the side of their head, once again revealing the tattoo above their ear. Her striking silver eyes look up. Gretel the Fletcher's always been a woman of patience. She has a very soft accent. She's the one who reconnoitered the unnamed city beforehand.
I take a moment to help her with her shaving. You know how it always is difficult to do it on your own without a mirror. I would, oh, you missed a spot there. Get a little over here.
There it is. Love it. Yep.
That's nice. That's
There's
very
a
nice.
part behind the bone here that I always end up nicking. A steady hand you have, Master Tama, if you don't mind. They lift up their red hair as you kind of shape on the nape of their neck and upward. She lets her undercut fall to one side, brushing it over. I must admit, Master Tama, this story troubles me. I have not expressed it with the others, but I think there may be merit to it, and it shakes me to my very core to believe that on the top of that hill, one of the people who had crucified the saint is in the caves and did this.
Indeed. Not only that, we know the impermanence of death recently. As I look out towards the field of dead. These pillars of salt, are they really dead? Are there people trapped within? If so, seems to be a fate worse than death, to be imprisoned in such a way.
Perhaps I was being selfish when I thought that we are trapped here in Galeon, but I think there are fates worse than ours. I would agree with you that these people are indeed cursed. We can have fate far worse than ours.
We can dispel this ensorcelment. I think it'd be the right thing to do.
Just out of curiosity, what is Guillaume's mind on this?
As far as I can tell, Guillaume, all for it. Searching out this wizard, taking him to task.
I suppose if there is a fight coming with this witch of the woods, I suppose we best get our practice in.
From the wizard to the witch.
There's an old story my father used to tell me about this magnanimous being, this person who ruled over the city with an iron fist. He had the entirety of Ghent beneath his boot. A terrible ruler and tyrant. And in my father's time, when he was young, in his teenage years, the people had turned against the tyrant. They found him, he was not the beast or the monster or the creature they thought he was. He was nothing more than a feckless youth with the gift of gab, a silver tongue. He had pulled the wool over so many people's eyes they thought him some monster. He was nothing more than a child. That's how I think this wizard is. A farce, perhaps. Hiding behind a curtain of whatever this is.
I hope so. Hopefully it will be someone so easily put aside, but it's hard to believe such things when the story goes that the wizard brought down the tear from the sky that turned everyone to salt.
We know when
Seems powerful.
we We know in the wake of the crucifixion, when the Red Death spread from her blood like blossoms, that things in this world were no longer as we understood it. At least it's what it says in the books that Beatrix have shown me. But there was some... She struggles with the word normalcy before all this. I don't remember a time when it was not like this, though. I don't know if there's a chance that there are some answers in the mountains, then I would not turn a blind eye toward it. But whatever is up there is certainly dangerous, at the very least.
Danger, but danger worth pursuing.
Just so.
I shake their hand.
The fireside chat happens, and here's what you net out. Alma is neutral on the matter. Beatrix is for ascending the mountain. Sybil is firmly against. Gretel is for it. Harlan is for it. Puck is for it. Install is for it. The question is, where do the three of you fall? That will determine Beatrix's vote.
I'm ready.
I'm for it.
Any reservations, Guillaume?
I do. I mean, Sybil, you are absolutely right. None of this story tracks. It doesn't. Why would you run away if you have this kind of power in the first place, right? What would it matter that you were being hunted? You just crucified a saint. I agree. That being said, we can see evidence of something, and I think it starts up there. That's what gives me pause. Because I don't want to see our people of Bastion set here. But I also don't see really another way forward with the information that we have and the daunting task we have in front of us.
There's a danger, Master Thomas, Sybil says. We don't know what's up there.
There is danger. Ain't no disputing that.
No matter what we do, we're in danger.
As I said before, it's a danger worth looking into.
You said that we are to be human, retain our humanity. Is our curiosity so great that we would put all of our lives at risk to sate this?
It's not just curiosity. These people, these pillars of salt, they may be trapped. They may not be truly dead like we are. You're just gonna let them go? Just gonna put them behind us?
Spooks and specters and fables is what gets people killed.
It does.
I vote yes, with the full understanding of what that means.
So Guillaume, for all those who vote yes, you gain 3 corruption. You are willingly putting yourselves and others in great danger in this, despite the fact that there may in fact be answers up there.
Yep.
It is midday. The sun hangs in the sky. The heat overbearing. You can see the shepherds pass where the grasses were once marched over, and now the salted statues affixed in time, spread all throughout here, as if they were marching toward that hill. There are no horses, no animals, no wagons, no wains among them, but plenty of what appear to be once barefooted priests. Zealots, perhaps? Flagellants? Hard to say. Interesting. Is there anything you wish to do before you begin your ascent?
No, I think we're set.
Who was the one that? What was the guy's name that didn't agree?
Sybil.
Sybil.
You have the mandolin of memory, which I will provide you the stats for next time we play.
Sybil, is there any way we can make this right with you? Sweeten the pot. I don't know. I don't like running roughshod over everyone's opinions, but things are as the way they are. The group's outvoted you. I want to make it right with you somehow.
You are doing exactly what a leader is supposed to do. You make the hard decisions. You mete out the cost. You determine the outcome based on what we say.
Good leaders meant to serve. It's just what I strive to do for you.
You clearly live in service to Bastion. There is no question about that. Continue to live in service of it, and you will find that I am perhaps swayable, but not on this matter.
Remember, if you ever find me to be a tyrant, you give me a good knock on the head for it.
Just so.
I will. Without hesitation.
Anything you wish to do?
I reckon that's it for me. Let's head off towards our
Saving my juice for there.
who knows what.
Yep. I'm ready.
Storm the castle.
Have fun storming the castle.
Mostly dead. So appropriate. To blave,
To play.
which means to bluff.
You leave behind Bastion, the three of you, and we'll assume that Pipistrella and Clovis are with you.
We know Clovis is definitely down.
Oh, if there's a chance of violence, Clovis is
yeah,
there.
Clovis is definitely there. Pipistrella, I believe, is probably going to be a little hesitant, but with us.
At this point, I would still think Pipistrella is just kind of like 1,000-yard stare
Yeah.
to a certain degree with a lot of things
Yeah.
right now, and it's now seeing like scores of people as pillars of salt. There's probably a lot for her to digest.
Yeah, she's just overwhelmed with everything.
A lot to unpack for that lady.
All right.
Perhaps a sense of duty to right the wrong.
That's a good call out. That's a really good call out.
Good way to look at it.
But I won't speak for Adam. I'll let him
Yeah.
voice his own opinions.
It's really fun avenues. Yeah.
You, in the broad daylight, you walk among the intermingled remains of the Salt people, as they seem to gather at the foot of this hill, a foothill, in fact, with a number of rocky outcroppings and tough-looking bushes that kind of grow. Their roots grow deep but cling to the edges of the stone. There is this clear kind of path that was perhaps tread not by Tiberius and his Mercadian knights, but one that's been here for a very long time, even before he retreated here. The wind blows. You can see dust kicked up here and there. It's hot.
Pick my way carefully through the crowd, careful not to scuff any of these pillars or knock off someone's hand
Yep.
in the process.
As the wind kind of whips across the Shepherd's Pass, you can see that it has eroded the features of the people closest to the mountain. As the wind kind of comes up and over the hill, kind of tugging at your clothes as you begin your ascent among the hills.
It's interesting to note, though, that they were all seeming to like congregate towards this. Okay. Okay.
As you ascend up this hill, you all... Oh, by the way, I'm so sorry. You all are restored to unhindered from sleeping that evening.
Sweet.
Good.
Let's go. I don't have to ignore skill ranks.
Yay.
Coincidentally, a real quick kind of game mechanic point. Anytime you wish to travel between Shepherd's Pass, so Shepherd's Pass, the unnamed city, and the cathedral grounds, you may fast travel now. So
Copy.
we don't have to do full wilderness travel to get back and forth.
Nice.
You just make what's called an arrive check. That determines what state you arrive in. Yeah.
Cool.
Once you come to a location, we'll no longer play out the long wilderness travel sequence. Once you've effectively unlocked it. That's just for gamification purposes. But no less, as you come toward this outcropping of stone that seems to look out over the Shepherd's Pass, you can see the Shepherd's Pass is actually kind of a deep vale amid a number of low mountains that they don't quite reach toward the clouds. They seem to be rounded off. There's a lot of wind around here. You can actually see, as you look out, you can see what looks like pale white winds washing across the low hills, bringing the salt of the eroding the salt and whipping it across the way. In fact, when you look down toward your camp, it's actually almost kind of like not covered in mist, but covered in like pale white dust.
I can see my camp from here.
That's right.
Civil owes me money.
You now you need to make a skill test. I need to have you all attempt a standard toughness test as you're ascending the hill. We'll see if you arrive tuckered out.
50 shots.
Toughness.
40, that's a success.
Nice.
First one of the night.
18 success.
Hey,
Success.
nice. Well, any precautions you want to take on the way up? You're just kind of trudging your way up the hill right now.
Well, I
The
wanted to
broad
kind of,
daylight.
as like this seems to be like kind of a broad path. Is there any other signs of like kind of civilization, so to speak? So like worn steps or anything like carved stone? Like
No,
anything
there's
like
nothing
that?
along here. But the path seems to get more narrow and narrow. I should say, at least the path between the rock. You hear Clovis mutter, "Turkey shoot."
Yeah, I'm gonna
I-
pull out my metal shield and actually, could I just like put that on my head? Like legitimately, like just kind of over the top, just like I don't like
Kamal
this.
pauses for a moment and he stops and turns completely 180 degrees around, and you notice that his helmet is blocking his vision quite a bit. Like, I can't see quite too well in this thing. You guys got to be my eyes and ears.
Gotcha, Bob.
Mostly the eyes, but there could be something coming up. Feels like something.
I'll run.
I got a tingling in the back of my spine.
I'll run forward. This is exactly my feeling. This is my jam. So I'll run ahead of you,
I'll leave you to it.
and we'll keep going.
Okay. You wanna sneak ahead?
Yep.
Okay. Go ahead and make a challenging stealth test.
Okay.
Well, this is a fail forward test, so failure is not necessarily failure.
You said challenging.
Yeah. It's a matter of see how you can keep your wits about you as you sneak forward between the stones. Failure, like I said, failing this test is not a failure unless it's a crit failure.
Okay. 37 to pass.
How bad?
66.
No, bro, no. Stop with that.
I'd like to reroll.
Nope,
Can't reroll
can't.
crits failures.
Oh, dang it!
It's only cool when
So
I do it.
you lose sight of Aspilison at some point as you're feeling.
I get too into it.
Yeah, you're feeling really good. Like you turn around and you realize that around you, the mountain, this kind of hills are like tall around you. They're kind of like moving like this. Imagine like being in the base of the Grand Canyon, where like in the low hills, like the mountains kind of like an old river perhaps passed through here, or like the stone was split in time. You can see ribbons of color along the stone as you're moving amid.
Cool
these-
and terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you can hear the echoes and the kind of distant kind of falling of rock and gravel here and there. Over the top, you can't quite see the sun algal, but you can see the whipping of white winds overhead of this salt that has been eroded away from those down below. Like the winds gather around here. When you turn around, you realize you're so far ahead of everybody else. And eventually, you realize that the path is widening just slightly, and you can see a dark, yawning cave at the tippity top of where this hillside seems to terminate. And you find yourself kind of near a rocky, kind of a rocky upcropping, like hidden behind it. waiting.
I'm oddly drawn to it, but
The mouth of the cave?
yeah.
Okay.
But
There's another upcropping actually closer to it if you want to get there and take a look.
yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do. Since I've already, since I finally realized that I went a little too hard, and I figure I might as well, since I'm here, check it out and see what I can see. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look.
Okay. You, fortunately,
That smile!
begin to grow closer, and we'll discover what happens, what your fate is, but because we actually need to return back to Master Tomal and Clovis. You both, as well, are passing through this very narrow area between the stone, where you can hear the scraping of the metal that Master Tomal wears and the stressing of the leather and the buckles as it rhythmically moving. And you stop and you wait, and you can't hear Espilisan's footfalls anymore.
Y'all keep your head on a swivel. Clean the muck out of your ears. There's something coming. I know it.
She's too far ahead, Clovis says. You can hear the scraping of the steel from the Zweihander off of his shoulders as he draws it out.
This ain't right.
You kind of turn back and you realize that if you were knocked over the head and got spun around and awoke from unconsciousness, you would know what direction to go.
Yeah.
Like, it's really disorienting being in here, in fact.
So we go over to the edge of the canyon wall and draw an arrow back towards the camp. Just in case.
Yeah. You scrape it in. Pale and white in the stone.
Just see the little creature
Park ranger goes
lifting
and
it
picks
up and
something up with
turning
you.
it around.
Park rangers. He's one of them rangers.
Leave nothing.
That's right. Bucket of water for your fires, that whole thing. Yeah, you realize you cannot see anything at this point. You can't find Espilisan until you get just far enough away to see two figures descending upon her.
Oh no.
And before you can say anything else, two knights clad in tarnished brass armor, long since desiccated, emerge from the ridge beyond the cave. They wear armor of bronze with faces covered in great helms. Their armor and shield, in fact, are teaked green, like the color of Statue of Liberty. They are dressed precisely like the brass paladin. And before you can do anything, we turn to the battle map. So we know that Espilisan was here.
Okay.
And I need to put my other guy here. Right here. And the two of you are way back here.
Yo.
Behind the hills. Way back there. And you can see kind of the mouth of the cave here. And then, of course, the two tarnished knights. And I need initiative for them. So put tarnished knight right there. Put tarnished knight A and tarnished knight B. And I think what we'll do is we'll take this one here, and we will mark his head green. So we'll put a little putty on him so we know that he's B. Actually, I think we can use some green.
Somebody.
I think I'll use this green marker actually to indicate that he is knight B on his
What are the
shield.
numbers on them?
Tarnished knight A, tarnished knight B.
What are the numbers?
Initiative numbers.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that part of the initiative.
Yes. A has an 11. B has a 19.
Yeah. Ooh, looks like I'm tied.
Hey, players go first. So they have a surprise turn
Okay.
on Aspillicent because she crit failed
Yep.
her stealth test.
Yeah.
Oh boy!
I Guillaumed the bed.
You Guillaumed it hard, dude.
So Guillaume did so
I
hard.
Guillaumed it so hard.
Listen,
Oh man.
Guillaume,
Dig dang dong it.
he has grim resolve. Okay, that's all.
So before you realize this, Aspillicent, as you're kind of trying to gather your wits about what's unfolding in front of you, one of them you hear his sword or you hear his flanged mace kind of unhook from his belt, and you can hear the metal kind of and he levels it toward you as he has chosen you as he has chosen thy foe. Wordlessly, you know that you will be the ire of his attacks right there.
Okay.
When you were chosen, you are left defenseless to all attack actions he makes.
Okay.
Yeah. So he has done that, and then he will charge forward.
Okay.
Since that's a profession ability, it does not take any AP to use.
That's right. He was a 9, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He comes charging forward with his mace. And he has a shield armed as well, and brings it arcing overhead, trying to brain you red high. So I roll dice here. I rolled a 90, which would be a failure.
Yeah.
The flanged mace comes crashing down into the stone, and you can see it spark as it strikes the black rock beside you.
Okay.
The white wind whips around you as it creates medium obscurement everywhere here, which means you can't use medium or long. You can't use long or extreme distances with ranged weapons. The other tarnished knight kind of looks out from where they're at. Along the top of the hill there, you can see him right there. He has not drawn his mace nor shield. Instead,
Okay.
right along here. Instead, you see his mailed boot fit into a stirrup of a crossbow as he takes the crick, chink, lifts it up, places a bolt inside of it, boom, pulls the as the crossbow sails toward you.
Fail.
Red high. 13. That's a hit.
Mother.
Unfortunately, you can't dodge this,
Right.
even by using fortune points, because you're defenseless to his attacks.
And my bronze shield's not gonna do nothing.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. You were defenseless.
Okay.
Yeah. So you suffer 7. You suffer 10 damage as you're struck with the crossbow bolt.
Okay. Lightly wounded.
All right. So now, Toma. We're at the top of the initiative now, by the way, because you were surprised. So, Toma, we turn to you. Toma, we know that here on the map, you're right here in the pass, and you can see right beside you, of course, is Guillaume. And all the way over here is one of the Tarnished Knights, who is armed with a mace and shield. And then there's another right here armed with a crossbow. And, a large one. A war crossbow. What will you do?
Stand down or we'll cave your heads in. Drop your weapons right now. Intimidate. Or Litany of Hatred.
Okay.
It was very intimidating.
Go ahead and roll your test. It is going to be easy for you.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's going to be easy intimidate. 77% chance to succeed. Success.
Nice.
Cute.
You find that your words fall on deaf ears. They do not recoil at your command, nor do they seem to react to the sound, as if they're animated by something from beyond that still tethers them to the mortal world, but encased forever in this brass armor. They are immune to intimidate.
Worth it anyway. So to get up here, this is difficult terrain or something, right?
It would take you. You would need to climb up it. So, so you would basically terminate your movement and climb up it for an additional action point.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just gonna charge this guy here. My movement is 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
You have your shield and you have your shield and mace out.
I don't have a shield, but
nice.
I do have a mace.
Okay.
So I will. I guess I don't need to actually charge.
Okay.
I'll save the action point. I'm
Hustle up.
just gonna hustle
Okay.
and attack.
Okay.
Standard attack.
In the midst of your movement, you draw the mace, and you can see as you're kind of like struck with the bolt of Spellison, you see behind the tarnished knight, you hear the clanging, clattering of the armor of Master Tomaho, who wears very similar armor to them. Their armor too is dressed with the Mercadian tabard. It's been hammered into the metal, tarnished and scratched and teaked with time. Go ahead and roll the hit. It is a standard test.
Okay. 71% chance to succeed. Success.
The blow hammers into the tarnished knight, and they are not fast enough to turn around to raise their shield.
I'm going to use Fortune Point. Turn this into a 6.
That a kid?
Nice.
So 16 points of damage.
Oh!
And they must resist with a coordination test or be pushed out of the engagement.
Okay. So they are lightly wounded. They got munitions played on. They will attempt to resist with coordination. I'll tell you, their test is not very good.
I figured as much.
Hi.
But I did roll a critical success with a 22.
All right.
So as you come in trying to push them down, and they resist, not only successfully but critically succeed, they get to bank 1 AP for free.
Okay. I'm gonna spend one more fortune point to do a takedown.
Okay. So I'll take that. It gives me 1 fortune for me.
Takedown is
Coordination or athletics. It's up to you.
athletics.
Entirely up to you what you want to use.
Alright, I'll do coordination. Difficulty?
It is. Ooh, well, that's a good question. It's going to be standard, unfortunately.
50% chance to succeed.
Hit it.
And that is a 53.
God.
Damn.
What happened?
That's a miss.
Miss.
That's okay.
By
You
3%.
drop to the ground, you try to sweep the legs out from underneath the tarnished knight, but metal meets metal. In fact, the greaves get caught together as they yank it free from your own. The metal kind of pulls one another.
Face me and fight me, you coward.
Anything else you wish to do, Talon?
No.
Now it's Knight B's turn. And now that you've officially all entered combat, I think we can cue up the normal combat music.
Don't.
Well, he will. The Knight B that's up there will drop the heavy crossbow and put the foot into the stirrup and get it click 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 clink, lock it in, spending my misfortune point to raise it and fire toward a spell set once again, as they have chosen you as their foe.
Okay.
So the one up here up on the escarpment is going to try to attack you.
Okay.
Your chances aren't great because they have a friendly that's engaged with you. So it's technically a hard test for them.
Okay.
Yes. Roll 36. I hit.
Wow.
Can I realize that he's gonna do that and hold up my shield?
Well, typically you would be able to, if you had banked an action point, you'd be able to dodge. Or
I see, okay.
spend a fortune point to dodge, but you are defenseless to his attacks, meaning you cannot react.
Okay.
So that,
oh, that's right.
that professional
that's right. Okay.
trait applies to ranged weapons as well?
All attack actions.
Ah,
Gotcha.
damn.
Okay.
So you were struck by the crossbow bolt.
Okay.
Oh, not so bad. 8 points of damage.
Oh. Okay.
I say not so bad, but I don't know what your
Could be bad.
thresholds are, honestly.
Moderately wounded.
Oh, no!
Roll a 1d6 to see if I'm injured.
Yeah.
Why was my initiative not higher?
6.
2.
Oh, you need to roll one more time because it's also punishing.
4.
Okay, no injury. That's good. I have no fortune points to turn it into an injury. So
Yes!
that's good. All right.
All
So-
right, there we go.
So You struck. That's so Tarnished Knight B is that a spell set. Now it's finally your turn.
Finally, my
As you
turn.
were caught unawares in all of this, but it's now your turn.
I'm going to flip the bird to the guy that keeps shooting me, but he's too far away.
Or how would you do that in still sign?
It's the same as your number one, really.
Yeah. I'm going to don my Mask of Fear at the guy who's right next to me, which means the foe suffers a negative 20 base chance to use skills against me until they are
Nice.
defeated.
Nice.
Once defeated, select a new foe. I'm gonna actually grab my dirk and go for a weak spot in his armor.
You notice something as you choose to do this. You realize that not only this Tarnished Knight, but the other one is moving with an odd gait, as if perhaps there is something that ails their legs. If you were to make a called shot to their legs, that
Okay.
may do something.
Okay, let me,
Called shot is 2 action points.
yes, let me, just because I want to,
Yeah.
called shot, 2 action points, make a combat-based test at a negative 10 base chance. Okay, I'm going to do a called shot
Okay, it's a
with,
standard test.
with my dirk to his leg. Okay, it's a standard
So it'd be a
simple
standard
melee.
simple melee test. Yeah. I'll never tell you what typically tell you what the skill is. Whenever
I know,
but for attacks at least.
Yes.
Normally I'll call it out if you do something that you did, but in
Yeah.
combat typically you just gotta look at your weapon.
So it'll be 45
Okay.
to succeed. And I got a 26.
There you
So I
go.
succeed.
Roll damage and add an additional D6 Fury die for damage. You strike them in their Achilles heel.
Yeah. So it's 2d6 plus my AB.
Yeah.
So I've got 3 plus 6. So 6, 7, 8, 9. 9.
Remember, you can always spend a fortune point to turn one of those into a base.
Let's
6.
do that. Let's do that.
Oh, sweet! I'll take that.
Can I choose whichever one?
Yes.
Whichever one, yeah.
I'm choosing the 1 to turn into
Yeah,
a 6.
of
Of
course.
course. Yeah.
So it's
Show us,
6
do it.
plus 3 plus.
6 plus 2 plus 6
Uh-huh.
plus 3. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
You had your combat bonus too?
16.
16
Nice.
damage? Wow!
Bang!
Well, the good thing is that you find a weak point, you find a chink in the armor, so to speak, as they are now moderately wounded.
we're
Yeah,
talking.
buddy.
And you may roll a 1d6 chaos die to see if the Tarnished Knight is injured.
Come on, little teeny tiny dice. 1.
No injury.
Wah, wah.
You can always spend a fortune point to turn
No.
it to a 6.
It's only a moderate injury.
Nope, it's fine.
So, anything else you wish to do? You spent 2 AP.
I'm gonna bank the next AP for that MFer over there.
Remember that even if you bank this AP, you cannot dodge or parry Tarnished Knight B's attacks because you were
Can't-
defenseless to it.
I
They
can't
always find.
remember this.
They
Okay.
always seem to find where you're at.
Okay,
But banking AP still may be smart because they're still on you.
You can also assist with a bank AP too.
That's right. This is skill
I-
tests.
Can I move over closer to him? So I can-
Absolutely, but once you move away, you provoke an opportunity attack unless you
Okay, I'm gonna bank
choose a maneuver.
I'm gonna bank it. I'm
Okay.
done.
All right. All right. Who's up next? Wilson.
Oh, next is Tarnished Knight. Knight A.
Yeah. So the one who, when you found the weakness, their Achilles heel in the armor when they were kind of dragging their leg, they actually managed to kick up dirt from the ground with that wounded leg for dirty tricks.
Oh.
Yeah. So they'll make it
Salt in your
guileless.
eyes.
Salt in the eyes. That's right.
Okay.
We'll see what happens here.
Okay.
Chances are great, but
Fail.
I rolled a 74. It's a fail. So they kick dust up, and it doesn't seem that you kind of quickly move out of the way as the dust kind of filters beside you, and then they bring the flanged mace down, arcing overhead with one hand with the shield in the other. 46. That hits unless you wish to try to parry.
Yeah.
Do you have a shield?
Yeah.
What kind of shield?
Bronze.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay, so whenever you parry, what are the qualities on your shield? If you don't mind.
Defensive, light, plummeting,
Pummeling.
the protective, crushing.
Okay, so anything that's defensive adds plus 10% to parry.
Okay.
So basically, it's a simple melee or martial melee test for you
Okay.
that is standard,
Okay.
and you'll add plus 10 because when you parry with the shield in hand, you gain additional bonuses.
Okay. So it's gonna be for me 45. It's gonna be 55 to succeed.
Coincidentally, protective shields can be used to parry ranged weapons. Normally, you can't parry ranged weapons. You have to dodge them, but the shield that's protective can also parry them. So you can clink in the right circumstance.
56
Did you fail?
by 1.
Oh.
Okay. So you're gonna take that damage.
Wait. Wait.
Reroll if you want. I'll take
I want to reroll.
Cool.
Okay. I'll take it. You know me.
Don't.
I need that coin, by the way.
Don't.
Oh. Did you
That's a
fail? Oh no. Well.
Done.
Oh gosh. You feel the sting of this weapon. What armor? Are you wearing any armor?
Yes, I have, leather armor.
Leather. Okay. Yeah, you can feel
Yeah.
a concussive blow against your chest.
Yeah, I can.
As you suffer 11 damage, and you need to resist using toughness, a standard toughness test, to be pushed away.
Pledge guard's good with high initiative. That's
40.
what I'm learning.
And I got 1, so I resisted.
That's good. So you're not
But
shoved away, but you still
I
suffer
took,
damage.
so I'm grievously wounded.
Oh no! Not only do you roll 3d6, you just roll 3d6. There's something else I'm saying. It's a roll 3d6
But if
chaos
one of
dice.
them's a 6, you'll get injured.
Uh-huh.
One of them is not going to be 6.
None of them are gonna be. None of them. Don't even worry about it.
I
I
got a 2, a 3, and a 4.
I do have this
No.
controller in here.
Yeah, you do.
But I'm gonna hold on to it.
Oh,
Oh,
thanks.
Lord.
Oh, shucks.
To quote Xerxes, am I not kind?
Oh, shit. Am I not kind?
So grievously wounded. You can see that Espilson is now on death's door.
I like being on death's door, don't I? Yeah.
So Tarshite A's turn is over. Guillaume.
Oh, by the way, you said players go first.
You always go before. Yeah, if you
Okay.
match.
Cool.
If you did you match?
I matched
Yeah,
that
we
up.
both have
I
11.
messed that up. I'm sorry.
Okay, it's okay. Just shift them around,
Okay.
All good.
and we'll start the next round.
That's my bad.
We'll start the next
sorry about
round.
that.
No, you're fine.
As
Seeing
is.
as poor as Spillicent, I'm just seeing this behind this outcropping
Oh
happen.
no!
Yeah, we're charging, boys. So I'm going to spend 2 AP
Charge!
to charge, so I have a total of 12 movement.
Okay, so go ahead and feel free to move your figure across the
1,
battlefield here.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I'll
Nice.
be engaged.
Now that they are surrounded, coincidentally, if you strike successfully, add 1d6 carry die damage because they're surrounded. They're stuck between a rock and a weapon place.
And a bunch
Well,
of us.
so now it gets real fun. So I readied my metal shield and my mortuary sword. I charge. I have the run amok ability. So when charging, plus 20% base chance to attack and perilous actions. So this will be martial
Yep, so your test will be routine. And
Yep.
do all your other maths.
combat. So routine. So 74.
Do you have martial melee trained?
Yes, I do. I just didn't put it down on this guy.
okay.
But yes, that was the.
I was
the,
like, wait
the
a
pledge
second.
guard bit.
This is
I
bad.
forgot to. No. I forgot to put it down. I'm
It's
sorry.
alright.
That was whenever I took pledge guard. That was literally the point. Was like, please give me a weapon. That is not. I'm not bad.
Double checking that for you.
So what happens when it's exactly on the dot of 74?
That's a hit.
That's it. That's it. Yeah.
Whew, okay, that was close.
So roll damage. It's 1d6 obviously from your weapon, 1d6 for charging, 1d6 because they're surrounded.
And 1d6 for vicious, because mortuary sword is a vicious weapon. So when dealing damage, or no, that's chaos die. Never mind, it's injury for chaos die. So just 3.
3d6,
So
yeah.
Just 3.
1, 3, so 4. There's the 6,
10.
so 10. 14.
They're wearing heavy munitions plate.
Plus CB.
14 plus 5, so 19.
What were you using the attack with?
Mortuary sword.
Yeah. So the sword kind of pierces the gut of the Tarnished Knight as they are grievously wounded.
Yes.
Roll 46 chaos. I see if they're injured.
Let's go. All right, 5.
Come on.
It's this one.
You
Don't
got
worry,
it,
it's
you
this
got
one. 4. No, it's
Fortune
not.
point.
Screw it. Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm doing
Yeah,
it. I'm gonna
do
spin
it.
the fortune point. I'm gonna get greedy. I'm getting so greedy.
okay, I did too.
For the phase 6.
Yeah.
So these things are not living, and as your weapon penetrates the gut of the armor with such great force, your shield slams into it. The armor just bursts to pieces and clatters all over the battlefield as you have defeated the Tarnished Knight. There is nothing but ethereal inside.
I like it.
Interesting.
Just fall completely to pieces.
So that is literally all of my turn. So top of the round, tomorrow.
Okay.
That's all 3 of my points. I can't
All
do
right.
nothing else.
Lovely.
I'm gonna make my way over there.
The strange automatons of armor, metal, leather, and steel just burst to pieces.
That's 1 AP, and then another AP to get up, right?
You will need to be.
This is actually
yep,
9.
you'll be right there.
This is
correct.
9.
So remember, real quickly, whenever, and this is just quick, this is not table rules, this is actual rules. Whenever you attempt to use a movement subtype, you always add 1 additional action point. So basically, you're hustling up the side of this hill. It'll cost you 2 AP.
Okay.
Because but the reason why this is because there are certain professions that eliminate the movement subtype AP cost.
God.
Like sneaking, climbing, driving, swimming, things like that.
So that's 3 AP to get me there.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna use another AP so I can actually get an action
Nice.
attack. But it's actually gonna be a perilous stunt because I'm seeing as how what just
don't have
happened.
your weapon in hand when you're climbing, obviously. So, but you can use a perilous stunt because you
Okay.
don't have to have a weapon in hand for that.
All right, I am going
Toss him
to,
down.
considering what happened just now, I'm going to attempt to sunder armor.
Ooh,
Genius.
Huh, interesting.
You're gonna do what?
I'm going to
Genius.
sunder his armor.
Yeah,
Okay.
interesting. Okay, go ahead and roll. Well, yeah. So you must wield a 2-handed melee weapon or 1-handed melee weapon with adaptable quality to
Okay.
sunder.
So I can't do that.
So you climbed up for 3 AP. Yeah, you hustled over for 1 AP. You climbed up for 2 AP.
3.
You spent a fortune point to draw a weapon.
Okay.
But I think but just because there's a little unclear on the rules for that, I'll go ahead and let you do it.
Okay.
Yeah. So is your weapon in fact have the adaptable quality?
No. It has to have adaptable to do
Adaptable or 2-handed melee weapon.
that? Okay. I can't just put both hands on it and attempt to break. Okay.
Well, you can. Well, let's try. Why not? Make it a little more difficult.
Sure.
It's going to be a challenging test.
Challenging test. So challenging martial melee is going to be. Hold on a second.
What will happen?
61% chance to succeed.
Nice.
Get him.
And a 2 is a success.
Hey!
That counts.
All right,
That
we'll
counts.
see if they can resist using toughness.
They won't? Question mark.
It's a 65% chance. 75 rather. I rolled 61. Unfortunately, is not successful. Good try though. The weapon hammers against the arm, but is not enough to sunder it. You can feel the metal kind of bracing beneath the attack. Go, boom, yeah. Oh! Like I said, it's like
Rings like a bell.
yeah, it's like
Throughout the
hitting
canyon.
a telephone pole with a baseball bat. You
Yeah,
can feel it in your
dude.
wrist. You're like, ah!
The tintinnabulation
In your
just
jaw.
goes.
You can feel it in your
ding, ding,
jaw,
off of
your
it.
back of your teeth. You
Yep.
can hear the leather
Oh.
stress, the buckles rattle, the metal plate bash. But unfortunately, nothing happens. Anything else you wish to do, Tama?
There's no crab under that armor, is there? I'm done.
All right, so now it is.
Oh, Tarnished Knight B.
This happens to be the one you're beside. Go ahead and move Tarnished Knight A off the board, the initiative ladder, if you wouldn't mind. So, you climbed up there, obviously, and now you've drawn the ire of the Tarnished Knight, which is
Off of
good.
me?
which is good because it's good because the Tarnished Knight was about to unleash another bolt on the Spillicet and potentially take her, enable a passing. So the thing turns toward you, and with the crossbow in hand, sweeps down to take you off your feet with a takedown. All you athletics to do this. Which at 84 will not succeed, but I'll spend a fortune point to reroll. 67 will. The weight of the crossbow kind of slams against your legs and the metal. Go ahead and attempt to resist a takedown with coordination.
Coordination? Okay.
This test is routine. Sorry, standard. My apologies.
50% chance to succeed. 28 succeeds.
Oh, nice.
Kid.
Nice.
Well, they are not successful in taking you down, which is, not to their benefit because I was hoping to get that sweet damage bonus, but that's just not going to happen. So instead, they can't use their crossbow at this point. So the Tarnished Knight drops the crossbow just outside of easy reach, and will switch weapons out, grabbing their shielded weapon.
Okay.
I'm assuming because they're grabbing two weapons, probably going to spend an action point to that, so they're 2 AP down now. With their final AP, or I should say, their final AP plus an additional one,
I was gonna say, you got misfortune.
they are going to attempt a called shot on you
Okay.
to prevent you from attempting to parry.
Sure, why not? I don't have any AP anyway.
They swing with their. Well, you could use a fortune point
I
for an
know,
AP,
yeah.
but I rolled a crit success, a 22.
Wow.
Oh god, I'm so sorry. This is bad. That's 9.
I'm really glad
plus,
you didn't get knocked prone, by the way.
so 15 damage.
Okay. I am lightly wounded.
Nice. I think I
And
should
my
probably.
damage threshold meter just went up by 1.
It is a powerful weapon, so
Okay.
go ahead and roll to resist with toughness.
Toughness.
And that
Be
is
tough.
going to be challenging.
I yell,
chance to
be tough,
succeed.
Toma.
41 succeeds.
Nice.
Yes.
It's a good thing because you're perilously close to the edge,
Well, I don't want
and they can send you off down the edge when you suffer fall damage.
one step closer to the edge. I'm about
Right.
to break.
I am the edge. I should really quickly indicate, because there's obviously some constraints around precise measurements for height here, that one block up is 3 yards.
Right. Copy. Thank you.
So if you're climbing up like the black parts, it is 3 yards. So with the exception of the edges of the map that you can't climb beyond. So this would be 3-6 yards right here.
The edge of the canyon.
Yeah.
We're shooting
To
wild
best
rats.
represent that.
Sheer
yes,
rock.
that's right.
Sheer face of rock.
The sheer face. So Tarnished Knight B's turn is over. Spillicet, it's your turn.
All right.
Run!
I don't really have anything to
Laudanum.
chuck at him. I don't even think I have laudanum. I've got a.
I will throw laudanum at him.
I've
like
got.
the chemist from Final
I've got my
Fantasy.
death worm.
Say that whole potion.
I'm gonna take my death worm out and give him a little pet and say, "Oh, I'm all right. I'm all right." Put my death worm away, and I do have calcified soma. Can I?
What secret of someone will you use? You have several secrets, 4
Yeah.
secrets, I believe. You pass on the 5th secret. Could have had that to move along the dams without harm. Could have went back to the city.
Okay. I'm gonna use the second secret. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. I'm gonna crush one calcified soma in hand and expend it. Move up a step in the damage and peril condition track.
You shatter it in hand as the soma turns to salt and kind of between your fingers falling like sand from an hourglass, like this. What memory? What was this person's memory
Oh, that's right.
when you consumed
Let me
the
add
soma?
my 9 corruption to
Yeah,
my...
9 corruption. It's a traumatic memory.
Right.
Like, what is a memory you experience as you gain 9 corruption?
So the memory I experience is a man who was in battle and was fighting side by side with his group and was viciously taken down in slow motion as he watches everyone around him go down one by one by one by one by one by a dagger or by a sword, just and he's just watching in slow motion as people keel, and then it hits him.
So remember, with calcified soma, you can use as many as you like. It breaks the normal rules for laudanum, but you of course gain corruption in turn, and you experience a traumatic memory of the person's soma who you just consumed.
I'll do one more.
Oh god, it's 9 more
All right.
corruption.
All right.
So that's 2 action points. So what is the memory you experience now?
Let me add, hold on, 3, 40, 50, 60, 70, 18, 19, 20, 20, okay.
Wow, your corruption machine tonight. That's, you realize
So
that
I was like, let's
that's
cling
22.
to our
that's 2
humanity.
chaos rings tonight, no matter what, potentially 3.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, that's
I was
alright.
like,
What's the
let's
memory
cling
you
to our
experience this
humanity.
time?
So the
Right.
memory this time is
Essence.
the memory this time is that of a young woman who witnesses her her dog being killed.
Dogs.
As someone who just got a puppy,
Yeah.
it's dramatic to think about.
Yes.
So a young lady watching her dog be brutally destroyed by just
All right.
ravaging people.
Wow, so you probably moved pretty far up the damage condition track at this point.
Yeah, I'm now moderately wounded.
Nice. That's good.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else you wish to do? You have used 2 AP so far.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do no more.
You want to bank your last AP?
I'm gonna bank the last AP, and I will like to pass it on to Guillaume.
Guillaume, it's up to you.
Guillaume.
So if we're looking at the battlefield here, you just destroyed one of the tarnished knights with a mortal blow.
Charge is so cool. Yeah, so I need to go help my friend here.
So you can't charge up the hill, unfortunately.
No, we sure shoot can't. 2 things that I'm gonna do. Okay, so
Just wait until we have the new terrain that Will build for us, then.
Did he really? Oh, wait until you
sorry,
see it.
new player question. I
Yes.
just want to be
Of
sure.
course, always.
So, since we're going orthogonally, I am not engaged with my ally right now, correct?
You are engaged through ally, yes.
I am. Okay.
Yes, because you can attack orthogonally, you just can't move
You're
orthogonally.
in the
Okay.
engagement.
Yeah.
Perfect. That is good to know for later whenever I actually use my other pledge card thing. So, that being said, so then could I interact and actually, like, give her my laudanum?
You can absolutely administer it to her right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how many AP would that cost? 1 AP?
It's 2 AP. If you're
2
engaged with somebody, you can, like,
Sweet.
if it costs you an AP to unlock a door, you can give somebody a key so they can unlock a door within the same action
Gotcha.
cost. So,
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
gain
so
one more corruption.
I'm
I gain another?
Yeah, and you move 1 step of the damage condition track. The damage one.
taking out my laudanum
Please,
from my
sir.
trappings.
I'm lightly wounded.
Whoa!
So that is my
Yeah.
Thank you.
2 AP course.
Thank you.
Yes, that's so cool. Then I am going to hustle. It's basically as close as I can get to that guy. My movement is 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Trying those was a
6.
mistake. That's
Okay.
good.
And that's everything I got. So it's going to be top of the round. Tomad, it's your
Tomas,
turn,
so
buddy.
now it's officially 3rd round. Tomas, what do you want to do?
Alright, I'm gonna do.
Get him.
They're both perilously close to the edge.
Is aim still a thing?
Take aim? Absolutely.
Take aim, okay.
Special action, you take aim for 1 or 2 actions.
I'm gonna take aim for 1.
Okay, But you do recall seeing what Aspilissa did down below, that these tarnished knights seem to be suffering some sort of Achilles heel, perhaps in their passage to whatever they have become now. They have carried forward this weakness.
There's a weakness.
In the legs.
There's a weakness in the armor, which is what I'm going for. So I'm going to attempt to sunder armor again.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
you are.
All right.
This time it's for real.
Go ahead and strike. It's going to be a standard unless you wish to take aim before it.
I did take aim for 1.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
So that
you're
means
plus
it's
10.
okay. So 81% chance to succeed.
Let's go.
Nice.
And that's a 57 success.
Nice. Okay. Let's see if they can attempt to resist under armor.
I want this to work
It's
for you.
toughness. It's toughness. Ooh, it's a tough one. It's only 55 for them. 61, but I think I'm going. No, I'm gonna hold on to it. So you strike the armor and it's instantly sundered. And as this happens, you see it kind of the chest plate collapse inward. The armor is ruined, which means they reduce the damage threshold modifier by 3.
Nice.
Oh.
So yeah, so this is a very useful perilous stunt, which is actually new in the starter kit. It used to be Sunder Shield, but now it's just called Sunder. So you can sunder armor, sunder shield, sunder weapons.
He's been sunderstruck.
Sunderstruck, that's right. And when something is ruined, armor doesn't modify damage threshold at all. Shields can't be used to parry, weapons suffer -3 damage. So essentially, the only modifiers it has to its damage threshold now are its brawn. Armor's been, they can't use their armor, yeah.
I'm going to follow up with a good old-fashioned whack with my flanged mace.
Like
Just
to
a
whack him?
melee attack
Yeah.
or call shot?
Standard attack.
Melee attack. But
Melee attack, yes. Melee
Okay.
attack, thank you.
It's going to be standard.
Standard, okay. So standard means 71% chance to succeed.
Nice.
94 is a miss, but I'll use a fortune point to reroll if we have one.
You can try that.
We got 2.
Absolutely.
We got those.
Let's do it.
Bring the weapon up.
26 succeeds.
Nice.
Now we're
and
talking.
in return, they raise their shield to parry. Clang.
Always
Spend a
with the
misfortune point
resist.
through that. So, is your weapon fast?
No.
Just powerful. Okay. Wow. Okay. 80% chance.
Come on now.
I rolled a 57. The metal shield catches your flanged mace.
So does the powerful work even when they block it?
So powerful. After you deal damage with
After you
this
deal
weapon
damage,
at your
okay.
option.
Cool.
Yeah. That's actually clarified in the starter kit because there are so many questions around, like, when do perilous stunts trigger? When do force movement things trigger? But now it's clarified in the quality, like Powerful says, after you deal damage with this weapon, at your option, the foe must successfully resist toughness or be shoved away from you 1 yard. It does not provoke opportunity attacks. So, good question. Hopefully clarified. Anything else you wish to do?
Nope.
Okay. Tarnish Knight, gonna return the favor with another called shot. But this time they're going to take aim, so it's all 3 action points on their turn.
Shot.
Give them the full opportunity to strike. I rolled a 40, that hits. You can't dodge or parry. You suffer 12 damage as they slam the flanged mace into you.
I'm moderately wounded.
Oh.
And my damage threshold is now 12.
Ooh. Oh, that's right. Your damage threshold goes up the more
Yes.
damage you suffer. That's right. Armigers are like, hit me! Hit me as hard as you
That's why I was
can!
getting up,
the best you got?
get up in there.
So if you're moderately wounded, roll 2d6 chaos dice, because it's 1d6, my apologies. It's a powerful weapon.
That's a 4.
Okay, no injury. That's good. So the Tarnished Knight actually still has 2 misfortune points, and they took aim, they did a called shot, and I think that what they're going to try to do is actually enact a stunning blow for a misfortune point, as they take the butt end of the haft they grab the shield in hand and grab the haft of the flanged mace and to try to strike you in your kidney where the metal plate is soft. for a stunning blow. They're going to use athletics to do this. 30% hits.
Mm-hmm.
You can attempt to resist using toughness.
Okay. Difficulty?
It is going to be challenging.
Alright. 47% chance to succeed. And a 19 succeeds.
Okay, you resisted. So a stunning blow would mean that you begin your turns with one less action point.
Oof.
Yep.
Unfortunate.
Yep. You can attempt to resist the beginning of your turn to escape being stunned, except for the first turn. Otherwise, it's a senseless ability.
Right.
They'll eventually be errated in stunning blow, but for now, just a quick note. So their turn is over. The Tarnished Knight will do nothing else. It's just trying to bring Tomad down. Spindlecent, it's your turn. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna stand here.
You are standing.
I am standing, and I am going to pass. I'm going to wait.
Okay. You can feel the vibration
Of course I can.
of the Widowmaker and its scabbard rattling at your side. Okay, go ahead and move as Spindlecent, like bump her out if you would. Now as Spindlecent, when you decide to wait, you must take your turn either after Guillaume
Okay.
or after Thomas, or else you will lose that
Okay.
wait.
Got it.
So, Guillaume, what will you do?
All right. So go with me on this, GM.
Yep. I'm with you.
All right.
Push him
So I don't think I can do charge as
cannot.
I'm going up a thing.
That's right.
So, however, before I take anything or do anything, I would like to sheathe the mortuary sword and pull out my bullwhip.
Okay.
I've got, by the way, just so everybody's clear, Dirk is now kind of gone. I'm not really using the Dirk anymore.
Yeah.
So anyway, pull out the bullwhip. I would like to hustle. My movement is 6, so 1, 2, 3, and then the 3 yards
Yep.
up. So kind of starting there.
Yep.
I basically want to use my next AP to get within, not engaged, but 1 yard away, so I can use my bullwhip.
So you can't stand.
Okay, gotcha,
You
gotcha,
can't
gotcha.
stop midway in your climb because it is
Cool.
an escarpment. It's a.
Okay.
Imagine you're kind of running up like half of a.
Yeah, there's no footing to you. Yeah,
That's right.
Gotcha.
There's no real footing for you to stand there.
Gotcha.
But I get what you're saying though.
Okay.
That would have been a cool moment, though.
So you hustle up for 1 AP.
All right. So
Your
hustle,
bullwhip in hand.
bullwhip in hand. I guess I have to spend the rest of those 2 AP then, correct? To actually get up the hill
Yep,
this turn.
That's right.
Okay. So that's what I'm going to do.
So
But
what
I'm
you-
not able to get past my boy Tamal, right?
So you can always move through a friend's occupied space.
Okay.
So you'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Dope.
If you have 8 for, because this takes you 2 to climb up and continue moving.
Right. So it would be the 2.
You basically continue your movement, more or
Okay.
less. Yeah.
Okay, so that would be all my AP then to
Yeah.
get up there.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, that is what we are going to do.
Okay. You're up there.
Shove
Okay.
him down, ice cream.
Shove him down, ice cream.
Ice cream.
Oh, ice cream. Okay.
Ice cream.
So yeah, using my whip, I would like to spend a fortune point, so I gain 1 AP
Nice.
back,
Okay.
and then I would like to just do a straight attack with my bullwhip,
Nice.
because I can do perilous stunts with 0 AP cost if I hit.
That's right. So your test, a bull up against somebody in armor is gonna be hard.
Yeah, that's legit.
You got this.
Snap, snap, snap.
That's
clang,
fair.
clang, clang.
Tickety, tackety, tickety, tackety. You can,
Yeah, I
you
didn't
can
get to
play-
use any of my fun charge stuff. Dang it. Okay, so this is gonna be 34. Do it. 50.
Oh, do.
Wait, isn't that a 5? That's
Oh, that's
0,
005. Never mind,
That's
that's a 5.
Oh, you hit.
Yeah, that's a 5. That's my tins die.
Which
Thanks,
do you
good
want to
call out.
provoke? A chokehold or a takedown?
That would be a takedown, and in specific, the takedown where I can push him 3 yards away from me.
So we house ruled
Or put, yeah.
last time that we would need a 1 AP rider on top of that, which means you would need to give me a fortune point for you to do that.
Done.
Do
Knock
it.
them off the edge.
I want to knock him
That's
off
the
the
decision
edge.
we kind of came to in the clock in the bell tower.
Oh,
if you
that's
recall.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
house
yeah,
ruled
yeah.
that.
That's
So they will attempt to resist.
They're gonna fail.
need to fail.
Fail.
Coordination.
Cool idea.
So
Fail.
Definitely don't do good.
I roll a 36.
You did a really good roll, is what
I'd like to spend a fortune point.
To do what?
To make them roll again.
Now, the part that I didn't tell you
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
is they actually failed with a 36.
Oh, yeah.
No way!
Tumbling down.
Clatter, clatter, clatter.
3, 4 yards, falling to the ground.
I would like
Prone.
to jump in.
So, before you do that,
tag
roll 1d10 and add 4. That's how much damage they suffer.
I love it. That's 1.
Can't do anything about that.
1d10 plus 1?
Yeah, so
two.
it'd be 2 altogether.
No, 1d10 plus 1. Oh,
rolled
I rolled a 1
Oh.
out of the possible 10. I
that's
mathematically
too bad.
rolled the lowest.
That's okay. Yellow me. Yellow.
Well, the good news is that as they are knocked down, they kind of roll down the side of the escarpment here.
Prone
And
is
fall on the
good.
ground. Yeah, prone on the ground. Now keep in mind, when you were thrown off your feet from, like if you're just knocked and shoved away, you typically wouldn't drop your weapons. But because they fell down a surface, they drop their weapons and armor just outside of easy reach, which is always 3 yards, if you ever need to know. It's always 3 yards away. That's our house rule, at least. So we'll go 1, 2, 3. Actually, you'll go, if they're right here, 1, 2, 3. Their sword and shield clatters as they, you know what, let's just make this fair. Let's say they both go 2 different directions. I mean, it makes sense, right?
I love it.
So
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Horrible calamity.
Yeah. Holy calamities,
Just animated armor just
insanity. Armor's bouncing all over. Which great pain. Okay, so Okay, so what else do you do, Guillaume?
That is it. I am spent, and I'm not being any more selfish with my fortune. So,
I jump in.
Gilalam.
Oh, we breaking in?
I'm
Okay.
jumping in.
All right, good. Hey, by the way, if you wait and attempt to interrupt a foe's turn, you can do so by spending a fortune point.
Interesting.
When you wait, yeah.
Okay.
You don't need to make any tests. That's
Oh,
also
okay.
that's also a new rule in Starter Kit.
And that's when
Cleans
you
up.
wait.
Yep.
Gotcha.
It's in your red book. It's in the red book.
The red book.
The red book.
In the
It is the
red
truth.
book.
It's how I discovered what vicious is. It's awesome.
Well, I'm grabbing my dirk, and I'm going for that leg hole.
Oh. How many corruption do you have?
A minute.
How much corruption do you have?
22.
You need to make a hard resolve test to not draw Widowmaker.
Gotcha. Okay.
Oh, interesting.
What I didn't tell you,
I
and
already
I've been,
knew. It was clanging.
I've
I
been
was clanging.
patiently awaiting,
I know.
and I think you should write this down, is that every time you gain 10 corruption,
Let me find a piece of paper.
your test to not, you have to withstand the call of Widowmaker. I'll remember it. I know it by heart. But if you have 10 corruption, it's a challenging test. If you have 20, it's hard. If you have 30, it's arduous. If you have more than 30, you're going to use it. The weapon is constantly calling for you to wield it. Widowmaker, when the more corruption you gain, the more malleable you are to its
I
wishes.
got
Like the Ring of
And-
Sauron.
And the weapon has its wishes.
Yeah.
You know what its wishes are.
Okay.
But the ring had other
And you
packs.
said I'm rolling a. Say that again.
It's a hard resolve test to not use Widowmaker.
I believe in you.
Why even roll?
I believe in you, SP.
I know why even roll. So 52.
I believe in you. Right here.
42.
It's happening.
32.
You can always fail if you want.
32 to pass, or 32 to 72. So that's a fail. So I'm grabbing my Widowmaker.
We see the sword of pitch black night, featureless. It does not capture any light, but the blade is like an absence of light as it's drawn into the white wind.
Yes. And I'm going to lay it down upon thy leg of thy tarnished knight.
Thou tarnished knight shall
Thou-
see thy anger. So go ahead and hustle up.
Okay.
And
that
to
target.
be clear, they are in this square.
Okay.
So
Thy thigh.
take thy thigh.
Take thy thigh.
thigh.
So it's
And
one
sweet
action point to
gams.
hustle, and 2 for a called shot,
I'm going to do a called shot.
and they're on the ground.
They're on the ground.
So it's a routine test. Called shot has a -10, so just call it standard. So a standard test to strike.
A standard, simple melee.
Obliterate that.
Yeah. Whatever's higher, simple or martial, it's entirely up to you.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it's flexible.
They're both the same. Okay. So 45 to succeed.
Hit it.
45!
Yes. Roll 1d6 damage and add additional d6 because they're on the ground prone.
You'll love to see it.
Yeah, we do.
11.
Heck yeah.
What
Was
does
one of
the
those a
sword do?
6?
Oh, the sword. The sword.
You have the card, don't you?
I do have a car. I do have a car.
Yeah.
It's in there somewhere.
I think it breaks a shard off.
It does break a
pretty
shard
sure.
off.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that being terrifying and reminding me of fiberglass.
Yes.
It lowers their DT.
So every time I deal damage to a foe, they temporarily reduce their damage threshold by -1 until foe successfully binds wounds.
Okay.
Nice.
You want to turn anything into a 6 on that? You want to spend a fortune point to turn it into a 6-sided die and roll again?
Yeah, let's do that.
All that misfortune. So it's 6 plus
Okay.
whatever your first die was, too.
6 and 6, so 12. 13, 14, 15, 16. So 16 damage.
They are moderately wounded.
Moderately!
Oh, roll that
Don't
chaos die.
The armor, although it has been sundered, they appear to be pretty brawny. All that being said, and you have left a shard of Widowmaker behind in your wake.
Yes.
Anything else you wish to do?
I wish to.
Roll 1d6 for.
Get that chaos
Oh,
die.
that's right. 1d6. What qualities does this weapon have? Should be under other considerations on the card. Your card will have all your stats on it.
Is it
Other limits?
Yeah.
Functions as a one-handed simple with distance. Has two. You cannot take advantage of its effects, crit success or crit failure. It's been ensconced. You are cursed.
What's its qualities?
Am I just missing all of that?
Can I see real quick?
Yeah. It's getting really late. I'm here.
It's okay.
Brain's giving
You are
up.
cursed. No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
well, and
I
you
am
were
cursed.
grievously
What
wounded.
type of weapon is it?
Yeah.
It's it doesn't qualify here, but we'll fix that. I'll get a new printout. So, it is technically vicious and castle forged.
Castle board.
Dope.
So
So 2
I have
D-
Vicious and Castle Forged written on my
There you go.
my
Yeah. So roll additional 1d6
Just one?
cast. I see if it's
2d6.
So now you get 2d6.
Yeah.
Because
They land on the face 6.
I'm on
do that face
sixes.
6. Do that face 6.
6!
Widowmaker, as you drive it down into the tarnished night, the armor clatters everywhere, falling to pieces.
SB.
Nice.
You good down there? You got it?
I'm cool, bro!
Alright.
So
You don't look so good. That was a lot of soma.
I'm a little salty.
Alright.
you quiet
people and
the
my
damned. You quiet the tarnished night.
I have people on me.
Its
So much
armor
people on me.
and remnants remain behind. As you look toward it, you notice that they have a metal shield, they have munitions plate, and a flanged mace. None, however, are brass.
I'll take the metal shield.
Okay.
I'll take a mace. I have enough.
Just be sure to account for the encumbrance if
Yeah,
you wish to take it.
I have enough.
Oh, and we also have to see if it has any soma on it. So
What
once
about
they're- Yeah, there is
the
a arbalist crossbow,
Dang!
which is a martial ranged weapon,
Sounds
and
cool.
there are a total of 5 bolts. If anyone wishes to take that,
I have nothing ranged, so.
Nor do I, but at the very least we could bring it back to Bastion, bring it back
Let's
to camp.
at least bring it back.
Yeah, I'll pick up the Arbalist crossbow.
Okay.
Although I am now officially getting very close to encumbered.
Yeah, let me check mine.
as you begin to pick through the remnants the tarnished knight's belongings. The armor behind the stone escarpment begins to rattle. The thing suddenly reforms beside you. The plates reassembling as the dead has not been officially quieted, and we will continue next time.
Oh, come on!
We'll have Clovis to help us next time.
Oh my
his-
god!
Oh, the Flamberjack.
Damn, that's not being quieted!
What the hell?
Oh,
Oh, rad game,
do
Dan.
we not remember?
You're so right. Damn it! I have a torch.
Oh,
was I-
yes. I was holding on to that one, but here we
Y'all don't remember? Y'all don't remember? Okay. Man, that was fun.
All right. Well, the good thing is, you will all be able to unlock something new on your character.
Let's go.
Which, to be clear, because we only, you should have 2 unlocks, I believe, at this point in your new profession, because we unlocked it
This
last.
will be my second.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's correct.
Yep.
So,
Hand me a book.
we need to roll corruption, and then we're going to talk about tonight's session.
No,
Finally.
the
big guy.
the big guy. Yeah, corruption, please.
I'm telling you right now, this campaign's gonna get real weird before it's all over. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. So, if the corruption die is equal to or lesser than any corruption you gain, the player gains 1 chaos rank. So you automatically gain 2 chaos ranks.
And-
But you
Oh, I need
how
to
much
roll.
corruption did you gain tonight? 22.
2.
So if this die is equal to or less than 2, you gain another chaos
A
rank
third?
2. Yeah. I rolled a 2. That's 3 chaos ranks.
Oh, wait.
Page.
Oh,
If
no,
it's
I had
equal to
Yeah.
or lesser than the corruption earned, the player gains 1 chaos rank.
Scheiße.
So
2 or lesser than. I have 3. Never mind.
you gain a chaos
You
rank.
gain
So I do gain. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Equal to or lesser than. Sorry, you gain a.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
So Paige.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is one of those instances, and we've had this happen a few times. Actually, with Nick's character, who was a warlock, or a sorcerer, or a black magi. I can't recall what that
Black
final.
Magister.
Yeah, black magister. He gained like 37 corruption in 1 game session. That's the most we've ever seen. This is probably the second most.
And
we've
this
ever
was
seen.
from doing like actually really bad shit.
Yeah.
Not just like
Real bad
crushing
spells.
so much.
Yeah.
This is like, I think it was like pulling eyes out of like priest corpses and
Oh,
stuff
that's
like that.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. nice.
It was pretty bad. Yeah. So, what would you? So we'll start. Let's go around the table because we need to talk about tonight's session. We'll prep this for next time we play. So starting first with. Let's start first with Toma tonight. Actually, let's talk about kind of like the what happened tonight, like what impact it may have had on Toma.
So heavy is the crown of leadership. And I think the fact that he was trying to. Toma has this thing where he just wants everyone to love him. He wants everyone to agree with his decrees and such. So when Civil, didn't go along with the group, kind of like took a toll on him. I think he wants to be this magnanimous ruler who has everyone's best interest at heart, but when it comes down to it, he kind of, as he said, runs roughshod over some people sometimes. It's part of what comes part and parcel to being a leader, but
Yeah.
it reminds him of the cruelty of his former life, which is torturous to him.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
What about for Guillaume?
Kind of similar in the sense that like for long periods now Guillaume has just been so concerned with finding the next answer that he hasn't actually had to consider Bastion and understand that he has weight and sway with random people who are depending on this group
Yeah.
to move from point A to point B, and so they kind of the curious passion that he very much exudes all of the time got tempered a little bit today, to where it's like, no, I actually do need to think before I jump because this could involve other people.
Yeah.
And again, kind of goes back to the whole idea of being in power and then just
So when that goes up,
doing whatever you want with those that depend on you.
Yeah.
Like that is one of those big things he did not care for the number of times in the game so far, and that is all of a sudden he's kind of understanding that he might be doing those same things. So
Yeah.
he's kind of in this moment of like understanding his actual place here.
And you got a cool mandolin.
Dude, mandolin of memory? What the hell? Yes, 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 yes,
New
yes.
Sacred
When you're
Remnant. I will have stats for you on that next game session. Oh, let's talk about this Phil stuff.
As someone who's really new to RPGs and all this stuff, I enjoyed the sitting around and talking and kind of having to think about the character of who I was, because I haven't quite developed the backstory of my character. So
That's a great thing about this campaign is that the backstory can develop as we play.
yeah, and so I really enjoyed kind of my brain went 8 million different places, and I want it to keep going there. So it kind of unlocked this new kind of dynamic of my character as to who they were post home. And so I just really enjoyed kind of the innocence of the character, seeing now how chaotic she is and how kind of war struck she is. It was kind of nice to see my character in a different light, and so I really enjoyed that storytelling time, and it got my brain firing. So I think that Aspillicent too was able to reminisce a little bit before this combat, and I think she like her heroism, or her deceit and her heroism now are exactly the same.
Where were you at in number of ranks?
6 and 6.
Woo!
Nice.
So
Wow,
so
yeah.
it was kind of cool to sit back and think about the innocence of my character when they were younger, in relation to where they are, especially now after this thing. So it's kind of interesting seeing how she's going to be pulled, because she's kind of
Yeah.
equally and equally, I will save your life. And so where does she go?
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool.
And to be traumatized by the memories of the dead. That's kind of
Constantly.
that's the thing that the Soma is like. It's powerful.
Yeah.
And you carry and for that exchange of power, you have to carry the
Yeah.
the weight and the guilt and the memory of this person who died in a traumatic way.
Well, and I think too that Aspillicent, with her memory of her before the chaos of the world happened, with her and the wolf, and then having the image of the dog being killed, it kind of tore, because she felt very peace and calm with the wolf, and then felt very traumatized by the, and so then that was just having this memory in your mind, and then having this memory come into your mind. It was just really intense.
That's
Well,
cool.
one thing I really like that kind of happened organically is something that Nick said on behalf of Tomal. He's talking about this idea of culture, like how we share stories around the fire, and I'm thinking, especially in the kind of this next arc of the story, because we are an intermediate tier, but more importantly, it's that arc has happened as a result of a great discovery, right? A paradigm shift, and like what your characters may feel about the world. I think, if I had my wishes, I would ask that we maybe continue exploring this idea of the fireside chat.
I love that.
Not just for like making critical decisions, like with you trying to convince the people in Bastion to agree to go up the mountain, but also to tell stories about ourselves. Because we know, because we are amnesiac characters, we have the opportunity to unravel those memories, so to speak.
Right.
And I think it'd be really cool if it's centered around the mandolin.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I liked that, and I think that's a great idea.
That's
I
really
think
fun.
It's definitely something that'd be nice to do, just because in a lot of these games, when we're doing very much like a horror type theme, it's nice to have these moments of like niceness and that sort of thing, because it kind of puts the dire moments in stark contrast,
Yeah.
as opposed to like the
think it gives weight to the
Like
dire
the-
moments.
The nice memories and like
Right.
Yeah.
what's at stake. It like puts everything in perspective.
Yeah, I agree, and I appreciate that. We don't do like super goofy horror.
Yeah.
Because it'd be easy for me to be the straight man, for you to just kind of run roughshod over the horror. That's typical. What happens in games. So I appreciate that about what we do. But I agree. I think the quiet moments are just as important because they make the horrifying moments more horrifying. It's the
Right.
It's the idea behind low fantasy, right? It's like D&D. The fantasy is painted with a giant roller, right? Where everything is so fantastical, it all feels mundane. But in Zweihander, the way I pace my games, I try to paint the fantastic in small brush strokes. And as we've continued playing, now we're just at the end of the 12th session, I started painting a little bit more broadly with a brush. So that we kind of start to feel like what the world is about. And I think those quiet moments will really help deliver on that suspension of disbelief, because we still have the opportunity to explore our characters, because they are people. They're people. They're not just a bailiff or a pledge guard or an arbitrator, or an
Seabra.
investigator, or a
Hello.
Seabra. They have these stories, and we have the opportunity to tell those stories together. And I think the fireside thing is really
I'm super down for it.
It's like when you're playing Resident Evil and you get to the save room. Like
Yeah.
the piano music starts playing and you're just like,
it's a moment. It's a moment of respite. Yeah, I agree with that. Well, we'll continue for our 13th session. Haha, 'tis the season.
Let's
go.
And we'll return with Will with a new character.
2 weeks from now.
I was gonna say it's not Stahl getting a glow up. All right, good.
No,
good.
not still getting a glow up. He's gonna play. I'm gonna give him some options. We're gonna talk about that on Sunday when I go to his place.
So Suspiriancy is officially an NPC now, right?
Yeah, she's now gonna retire to Bastion, so to speak.
I was kind of trying to suss that out in some roleplay earlier.
You're trying to suss that out?
Suspiriancy.
Does it rhyme with Beyonce?
Yeah, so she's kind of been formally retired as an NPC to Bastion in that sense.
So does that mean that Suspiriancy is someone that we need to convince for the negotiations?
Yep.
How come we didn't do it this time?
Because it was I like to think of the fact that we just lost a player, like maybe we shouldn't do that tonight.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Like I said, it
It's
just
fresh.
happened this evening. It's fresh.
Yeah.
But yeah, she will be a part of the consideration in the future as an NPC.
So with that in mind, most of the NPCs that we have around Bastion give us some sort of benefit.
Yep.
In what way will Suspiriancy impart such a bonus?
I actually need to find out what profession she worked on with Adam before wrapping up, and then I'll figure that out in the meanwhile. Yeah,
Thanks
because
for looking into that.
Yeah, so the number of NPCs, for those who are just now watching or listening, we have strictly limited the number of NPCs in Bastion. One, because we have these characters that we can interact with and get to know.
Right.
And you actually almost know all of them by name.
Yeah.
Now, by memory, which is great, because the hardest thing with a GM's challenge is like, you need people to care about NPCs and remember names.
Yeah.
And if we keep the number of names of NPCs low, it works really well. So I've done that purposely in this game, and it helps deliver on the idea of like, where the fuck is everyone?
Yeah.
And maybe we'll find out once we get beyond this and get to Solid and Boyle as you continue your journey to find the Witch of the Woods. See you next week.
Bye.
I love all of my toys.
Hey there, viewers. If you like what you're seeing, take the next step. Head on over to our Patreon, where we create content for Zweihander and other games. Just go to grimandperilous.com and click on the Patreon button. Thanks.